A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Five bells. Stand by all stations.
Attention, all districts. A 5-alarm fire. 5 bells moving immediately.
That's it. Let's roll. Let's go, Firefighters. Presenting Firefighters, the true-to-life story of our unsung heroes who stand ready to ride by day or night against our most murderous enemy, the demon of fire. In just a moment, we'll join Chief Cody and engine man Andy Parker, the man Tim Collins saved when he was overcome by acrid smoke in the storage loft fire. The loft blaze has proved to be a stubborn affair, and putting it out is an extremely tough and dangerous job, because the weight of the water-soaked bales threatens to bring the whole second floor tumbling down, carrying the firemen with it. We'll learn what this problem really means to Chief Cody in just a moment, right after this important message. Let's go, firefighters. Let's go to the 2-story storage loft where Chief Cody, Andy Parker, the engine man, and Tim Collins are fighting the blazing upper story where bales of rags are stored. Right now, the fire is only a small part of their worries. The big danger is that the bales of rags that have gradually been soaking up water 3 times their weight will be too much for the floor to stand, and the whole second story, with the 3 men, will collapse. Chief Cody has sensed this danger from the start, and finally has ordered Tim and Andy out of the loft before it crashes to the basement, carrying them with it.
All right, Tim. Andy. Right. Clear out of here. Yes, sir. She's got too dangerous with those bales soaking up water. Right, Chief. I agree. Come on, Tim.
You get out on the ladder with the Chief, Andy. Got my foot caught between the bales.
Well, hurry it up, Tim. She may go any minute.
Yes, sir. All right. All right, I'm free now. You and Andy work your way down the ladder.
She's starting to give way, Tim. Come on.
Come on, Tim, on the ladder with us.
She's going, Tim.
You all right, Chief?
Yeah. Tim. Poor Tim. The whole second floor's smashed through to the basement. He's under it all.
Gosh, Chief. What'll we do?
Get down this ladder first.
Do you think there's any chance that he...
Don't talk like that, Andy. Of course there's a chance. As long as there is, we'll move heaven and earth to get him out.
Chief, I'm reporting for duty. This was my day off, but when I heard about the fire...
Masnowski, it's good to see you, boy.
How's the rescue work coming?
We've got a real rescue job on our hands, Masnowski.
Yeah, I see. The whole thing's just collapsed. Anybody in the building?
Yes. Your pal, Tim Collins.
Tim?
Yeah.
Good grief.
Bales of rags soaked up so much water, the weight was too much for the floor. Whole thing crashed down, carrying Tim with it.
Well, we got to get him out.
We certainly have. If there's any way on earth. Andy.
Yes, sir?
Have the boys cool down that pile of wreckage with their lines. It's too hot to work on right now.
Right away, sir.
Oh, step over here, Masnowski. Out of all the confusion. I want to talk with you.
Sure, Chief.
Now, I don't like to admit this even to myself, Masnowski, but...
It's bad, isn't it, Chief?
Pretty bad. There's tons and tons of masonry on top of that void.
Yeah, and I see that rear wall caved in, too.
There's not much more than 1 chance in 1,000 that he's alive.
Yeah, I know. But there is that one chance, Chief. Who knows, maybe...
We'll do everything humanly possible, and as fast as we can. Thank heaven the fire's out. Now we can concentrate on the rescue.
What's the plan, Chief?
As soon as the boys cool off the rubble, we'll turn every last man to digging. It's almost a hopeless task, but we've got to do it.
As soon as the engine men have the smoking ruins wetted down and cooled, every man sets to work with shovels, plaster hooks, and their bare hands to dig their way to the bottom of the great mass of bricks, twisted beams, and water-soaked bales, working with a frantic energy against hopeless odds. Every man struggling and sweating in the dusty heat knows the chances of success of finding Tim alive are slim. But no man will admit it as he works on doggedly, grimly, without pausing to rest. And the man who works the hardest, who digs in the rubble with the most frantic hope, is Andy Parker, the engine man, whose life was saved by Tim. After over an hour of digging, Andy comes up to Chief Cody, who is working in the ruins himself, and says,
Chief.
Yes, Andy?
I don't think we're getting anywhere. It's so slow.
Yes, you're right, Andy. It's terribly slow business. We've hardly made a dent in this pile of stuff.
I'm afraid that by the time we get to the bottom...
I know. It may be too late. Let's see what Mushnowski has to say. Mushnowski!
Yes, Chief?
What do you think? You're the rescue expert. Is there any way we can move this stuff faster? We've been at it an hour now. We've hardly scratched the surface.
I know, it's maddening it's so slow. We only had Hey, why not?
Got an idea?
Sure, why not? A steam shovel.
Well, I'm afraid even rescue doesn't have one of those.
No, but I think I know where I can get one, and fast, too.
You're thinking of that big excavation down at the corner of Main and Taunton?
Right, Andy, and it's just 3 blocks from here. With your permission, sir, I'll go down
to it, son. Anything that will move this stuff in a hurry. I only hope we're not too late.
In a matter of minutes, Mushnowski has commandeered the big steam shovel down on the corner of Main and Taunton and has moved it to the scene of the collapsed storage loft. There, under the direction of Chief Cody, the big prime mover begins to scoop up great bites of the rubble, begins to clear away the tons of masonry and water-soaked bales under which Tim is buried.
Over to the left a bit. To the left. That's it. Say, that outfit really moves the stuff, huh?
Yeah. One shovelful is more than all of us can move in an hour.
Yeah. Now, as I figured, Tim went down about over there. Right where the most masonry is.
Yeah, but, Chief, must be 15 feet of stuff over that spot. It makes me shudder every time I think...
Now, Andy, just don't think of such things. We all know what the chances are. We all know we're doing everything man can do for another human being.
But, gosh, Tim, of all people, he saved my life.
I know, it hurts. Things like this always hurt. It's the worst thing about being in the fire service. To see your buddies, the boys you work with, go down before your eyes. Man, the times that I've...
Huh? Shovel operator stopped. He's signaling. I'll see what he wants.
Looks like his shovel's hung up on a pipe or something. Let's take a look, Chief.
Yeah, he's hit something, all right. What is it, Mushnowski?
The operator struck a section of sewage pipe, Chief. The teeth of his shovel's caught on it. I guess we'll need a pinch bar to pry it loose.
Andy, get a bar off your truck.
Yes, sir.
Seems to run straight down through the debris. Must
Hey,
be...
you hear that?
Hear what, Mushnowski?
A tapping. It's coming from the sewage pipe.
My golly, I believe it is. Listen.
It's 5 bells. Yeah. Somebody's tapping out 5 bells. And it must be Tim.
You're right. Only Tim would think of that.
What is it, Chief?
Tim. He's alive. He's down below there. Tapping out 5 bells on this sewage pipe.
It's 5 bells, all right. Chief, it's got to be Tim.
Yeah.
He's alive. Chief, Mush, Tim's alive.
Tim alive. What a welcome sound those 2 words have to the men who have worked so desperately and with such little hope to rescue the courageous rookie who risked his life in the line of duty. It seems a miracle that any man could live under that great mass of brick and bales. And if he does live, can he possibly escape serious injury? Apparently, he is able to tap out a feeble call for help. But what condition is he in? And if he is injured, will Chief Cody be able to get him out in time? To learn the thrilling climax to this dramatic rescue, be sure to listen to the next true-to-life episode of The Firefighters. In just a moment, Fire Chief Cody will tell you boys and girls how you can help the firefighters in your own town. But right now, here's a message you ought to hear. Now, firefighters, here's Chief Bob Cody with a special message for the Firefighters Brigade. Chief Cody.
Hello, boys and girls. This is Chief Cody. For some time now, we've been talking about fire prevention in the home. And you will remember, a little while back, I told you how important it was to know the telephone number of your fire department. Well, now, here's a simple way to always have that important number handy. Get a small gummed label. You know, the kind your mother puts on jars or jelly. And then print or type the word fire on it. That's right, just the word fire. And then the telephone number of the fire department right below it. Then you attach this sticker to the base of your telephone. And in that way, you'll always have the number right before your eyes in case you ever have to turn in a fire alarm by telephone. Well, that's all for now. Until I drop in next time, I'll say so long.
Fire Chief Cody and the young rookie fireman, Tim Collins, will be back on the same station the next time you hear...
That's it. Let's go!
Let's go, Firefighters!
The Jack Benny Program, presented by Lucky Strike. Quality of product is essential to continuing success. Exhibit A, Lucky Strike. Fine tobacco is what counts in a cigarette. And year in, year out, always. Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. Lucky Strike presents The Man Who Knows. Colonel Hart Shoemaker, ace tobacco auctioneer of Lebanon, Kentucky, has sold over 300 million pounds of tobacco leaf. Recently, he said,
I've seen the makers of Lucky Strike buy real quality tobacco, fine, ripe, mild tobacco. Yes, I've seen them do it at thousands of auctions. For my own cigarette, I picked Lucky's.
At market after market, at auction after auction, independent tobacco experts like Colonel Shoemaker can see the makers of Lucky Strike consistently select and buy that fine, that light, that naturally mild tobacco. Remember, LSMFT. LSMFT. Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. And fine tobacco means real, deep-down smoking enjoyment for you. So smoke that smoke of fine tobacco, Lucky Strike. Yes, next time you buy cigarettes, ask for Lucky Strike. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw. The Lucky Strike program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, for many years as an announcer, it has been my privilege to introduce a number of very important people. But never have I felt the pride that is glowing within me today as I introduce the gracious and beloved star of our show. Well. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me extreme pleasure to present to you a man whose very benevolence has earned for him the admiration, respect, and everlasting love of millions. And here he is, Jack Benny.
Thank you. Hello again. This is Jack Benny talking. And, Don, that was the most beautiful introduction I've ever received. The most touching. I mean, whatever made you think of it?
There are only 27 more shopping days till Christmas.
What?
And I don't want any more of those lousy shoelaces.
Oh, Don, you didn't like the shoelaces I gave you last Christmas?
No, I didn't.
Well, what was the matter with them? I mean, were they too long or too short or what?
Well, Jack, now I've been with you 13 years, and I didn't think a pair of shoelaces was an appropriate Christmas gift.
Oh. Well, Don, you silly boy. I mean, if you didn't like the shoelaces, you could have exchanged them for a box of Kleenex or dental floss or something. Anyway, Don, I do appreciate the fact... Come in.
Telegram for Jack Benny.
I'll take it, boy. Just a minute. Here's a tip for you.
Yes, sir.
I wonder who this telegram... You can go, boy. I gave you your tip.
But, Mr. Benny, these ration stamps aren't good anymore.
Don't be so sure.
My bicycle was paid for. I'd punch him right in the nose.
Go be nice to people.
Jack, who's the telegram from?
Wait till I open it. Well, dear Jack, please be at the studio tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock for further discussion. Signed, Jack Warner.
Discussions about what?
Didn't I tell you, Don, the Warner brothers have finally decided to make that picture. You know, the story of my life. It's going to be...
Hello, Jack.
Oh, hello, Mary. Mary. I've got wonderful news. Sorry, I did that. I mean, I've known you so many years. Mary, I've got wonderful news. Warner Brothers is going to make the story of my life.
Gee, that's swell. What gave them the idea?
Well, after I made The Horn Blows at Midnight, they received thousands of letters demanding the life of Jack Benny. I wonder how they meant that. Anyway, they've done a lot of work on the story.
You mean they finished the script already?
Yes, Mary, and it's going to be great. You know, there's a lot of action in the opening scene. You see, in the opening scene, I've just been born, and as the doctor leaves the house, my father shoots him in the back. It's really very exciting.
Say, Jack, when they made the Jolson story, they had Larry Parks play the part of Al Jolson. Now, in your picture, who's going to play you?
Well, we don't know yet, but to portray the real me, they're considering Errol Flynn. I guess it's the way I've lived, you know. Then there's also the possibility that they might use Clark Gable.
Well, Jack, as long as it's a story of your life, why don't you play it yourself?
Well, we thought of that, Mary, but we felt we needed someone who was attractive to women, you see.
Oh, Jack, you're just as attractive to women as Clark Gable any day.
Well, I wouldn't say that, Mary. I mean, that's sweet of you, but you see, Clark is a pretty handsome guy, you know.
Oh, you're just being modest. You don't hear women talk about you like I do.
Now, Mary, stop, will you? I'll admit I'm not homely, but what did the women say about me?
You asked for it, brother.
Never mind. If you want to know something, Smarty, it wasn't so long ago I had dozens of girls all around me.
That's when you were playing with Phil Spatolny.
Phil Spatolny. He still owes me 2 weeks' salary. Anyway,
Hey, Mr. Benny, when I sing my song, do you mind if I...
Oh, hello, Dennis.
Hello. Mr. Benny, when I sing my song, do you mind if I...
Did you just get in?
Yeah. Mr. Benny, when I sing my song, do you mind if
How do you feel, kid?
Fine.
Good.
I broke my leg this morning, but I'm all right now.
Dennis, just go ahead and sing your song.
Well, aren't you going to ask me how I broke my leg?
No, I'm not. Now go ahead with your song.
My mother was right. You don't want me to get laughs.
Not on silly things like that. Now go ahead and sing.
Okay, but do you mind if I dedicate the song to my new girl?
Oh, you have a new girl? What's her name?
Thelma Gray, Hollywood 6265.
Oh.
Dennis, you didn't have to give Mr. Benny her phone number.
I might as well. He'll force it out of me later.
Now, wait a minute, kid. When did I ever threaten you to get a girl's telephone number?
Remember in New York when you took me to the top of the Empire State Building?
Jack, you didn't.
He held me over the edge by my suspenders.
Well, you're lucky you didn't go out with that girl. You've still got your watch. Girl.
But this girl's different, Mr. Benny.
Oh, you really like her, eh, Dennis?
Yeah. Last week was her birthday, so I took her around to all the clubs. We went to Ciro's, the Macombo, Flapsy Maxie's.
Really?
How those places stay in business, I'll never know. We were the only ones in there.
Dennis, what night did you go?
Oh, nice.
Oh, for heaven's sake, go ahead and sing, kid.
Okay.
Hollywood, 6265. I must remember that. This time I'll leave my watch home.
As you walk, as you talk with the one you love, do you know just how lucky you are when you stroll hand in hand neath the moon above? Does your heart sing how lucky you are? There's so many heartaches in this world of ours. Sometimes the dream will come true when the one that you love is in love with you. That's the greatest of blessings by far, and you don't know how lucky you are. Does your heart sing how lucky you are when the one that you love is in love with you? That's the greatest of blessings by far. And you don't know how lucky you
How Lucky You Are, sung by Dennis Day. Very good, Dennis. Say, Mary.
Aren't you going to ask me how I broke my leg?
No, I'm not, and stop being silly. Now, what did I start to say? Oh, yeah, you know, Mary, I've been giving it a lot of thought, and I don't know just who would be the right one to play me in The Life of Jack Benny.
Or how about Van Johnson?
Well, he's good, Mary, but he isn't quite old enough, you know.
How about Cornell Wilde?
No, he isn't old enough either.
How about John Wilkes Booth?
Oh, stop. John Wilkes Booth.
He broke his leg, too.
Dennis.
Aren't you going to ask me how?
No, I'm not. But, Mary, I think... Gee, I don't know.
Hiya, Jackson. What's that dreamy look on your face?
Oh, hello, Phil. I'm thinking. You know, Warner's is going to make a picture, the story of my life. We're trying to figure out who would be the right personality to play me.
Why don't you play it yourself, Jackson? You're one of the greatest actors in show business.
Huh?
And coming from me, you know what that means.
Yeah, there are only 27 more shopping days till Christmas. But getting the right guy is really a problem.
Hey, Jackson, I got an idea. Why don't you let me play the part? I'd be terrific. I'm handsome. I got personality, sex appeal. What more do you want?
Well, Phil...
Think it over, Dad. I'm alive. I'm sharp. I'm a sort of a Mickey Rooney with just enough Roddy McDowell to hold me down.
Philsy boy, do you think for one moment that I'd let you play... Do you think for one moment I'd let you play the lead in a picture as important as this one? You'd be drinking all the time.
What's wrong with that?
What?
You made the horn blows at midnight and you were sober.
Not after the preview. Anyway, Phil.
Hello, Livy. How you, Don?
Hello, Phil.
Hiya, Dennis. How you feel, kid?
I broke my leg this morning, but I'm all right now.
Dennis.
Just call me John Wilkes Booth.
Dennis, keep quiet, will you? Now, Phil, I hate to be the one to suggest it, you see, but it's time for a number from your corny band.
Corny band? Apparently you haven't heard.
Heard what?
We were invited to go to England and play for the royal wedding.
The royal wedding?
Yes, sir, right in Birmingham Palace.
Phil, that's Buckingham.
If there's a buck in it, you'll know it.
Darn right. Now, come on, Phil. Let's have a band.
Oh, wait a minute, Jack. Don't you think it's about time we do a commercial?
Don, we're not going to do a commercial this week. Go ahead, Phil.
But, Jack...
Don, I'm running this show. Go ahead, Phil.
But, Jack, the quartet worked on it all week.
I don't care if they did. Go ahead, Phil.
And there's a part in it where you play the violin.
Hold it, Phil. What were you saying, Don?
Well, the Sportsmen are going to do the Poet and Peasant Overture, and there's a place in it where you do a violin solo.
Well, that sounds pretty good. See, I had no idea this was going to happen. Gosh, this is really a surprise.
Some surprise. Unbutton your shirt and take out your violin.
Okay, Don, when do I come in?
Just watch the boys. They'll give you your cue.
Good.
The Poet and Peasant Overture. Take it, boys.
Will always be this vote for me.
Now?
Yes.
Now?
Yes.
Now?
Yes, yes, yes. Good old LSMFT. That's a cigarette for me. My lucky strike. He's the one you will like. They're from Kentucky, they smoke a lucky. They're so round and firm and fully. They are so fully packed. If you would like a lucky strike. LSM, oh LSM, oh MSMFT, oh MST, LSMFT, LSMFT,
Don, that commercial was really wonderful. It really was. And thanks for putting a part in it for me. I mean, the boys were just great, and the violin solo was out of this shirt. I mean, out of this shirt. And by the way, kids, before I forget it, next Thursday on Thanksgiving, I want you all to come over to my house for a turkey dinner.
Turkey? Gee, I wonder if I could have one of the legs.
Sure, kid. Why?
I broke mine this morning.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Hey, Jackson, are you sure it's going to be a turkey?
Of course I'm sure. Why?
Well, last year you said you ran over a turkey, and when we bit into it, it turned out to be a buzzard.
Well, it's a real turkey this time, isn't it, Mary?
Yeah, I was with Jack when he bought it.
That's right.
In fact, yesterday I called him and suggested that he throw a Thanksgiving party for the whole gang. He must have been in a good mood because he went to the idea right away.
Well, Mary, I'm glad you called, and it's a good suggestion. Huh? Fine. Hurry over and we'll go shopping. Goodbye. Oh, Rochester.
Yes, sir.
Where have you been?
Out in the garage trying to fix up the car. When you hit that truck last week, you bent the axle.
Did you fix it?
Uh-huh, but I had a lot of trouble.
Trouble?
Yeah, when I loosened the nut that holds the axle, the lights fell off.
Oh.
So I took a nut off the rear door to fix the lights, and the steering wheel fell off.
Gee.
Then I took off the wire that holds the radiator and used it to tighten the steering wheel.
And the radiator fell off?
No, the fenders.
All four of them?
All five of them.
Five? We only have four fenders.
How about the one we hold over our head when it rains?
I thought we used the side door for that.
No, we use the side door to close the trunk in the back.
Oh, yes. Gee, I must have hit that truck harder than I thought.
Say, boss, when are they going to come out with those new cars with the motors in the rear?
In 1948.
Well, congratulations. You're a year ahead of them.
What? You mean the motor's in the back of my car?
About 10 feet.
Oh, stop making things up. Now, Rochester, I'm going to have the gang over Thursday for Thanksgiving dinner. What's in the refrigerator?
The morning paper, a magazine, and your glasses.
What?
When that little light goes on, you ain't wasting it.
I'm not talking about that. I mean food for Thanksgiving.
Well, we've got everything except the turkey. You want me to go out and buy one?
No, Miss Livingston is coming over, and we're going to... Well, that must be her now. So long, Rochester. We'll be back in about an hour. Gee, Mary, such a nice day. I'm glad we decided to walk to the market.
Yeah. I'm glad Thanksgiving will be here soon. It's one of our nicest holidays.
Yeah. And this year, we should all be so thankful. I know I am. See, when I wake up in the morning, I hear the birds singing. I've got the beautiful moonlight at night. I get all the fresh air I need. All the sunshine I want.
So far, it hasn't cost you a dime.
Yeah. Oh, Mary, look. Hey, Mary, look over there. Those boys playing football.
Hey, Joey, kick it to me now.
See, they're nice kids, Mary. You know, the bigger one is Stevie Kent. His folks live on the corner. Every time I go out for a walk, I stop and talk with him. Hey, Stevie, throw the ball over here.
Oh, hello, Mr. Benny. Here it comes. Look out, I think it's too high. You have to run for it. Faster. You better jump for it. Wow, what a catch.
Hey, that was a good catch. I gotta hand it to you, Mary. How did you do it?
I don't know, but you can buy me a new girdle for Christmas.
Okay, you know, Mary, UCLA could have used you yesterday. Yes, sir.
Say, Mr. Benny, this is my friend Joey.
Hello, Joey.
Hello, Mr. Benny. You know, Joey, Mr. Benny was All-American fullback when he played football for Yale.
Yale?
And he broke the 100-yard dash record when he was in the Olympic Games. Gee whiz.
Jack, did you tell these...
And Mr. Benny pitched 2 no-hit games in the World Series. When he was with the New York Yankees.
The Yankees?
Oh, I was just lucky, that's all.
Say, Mr. Benny, tell Joey about the time you knocked out Jack Dempsey.
Oh, it was nothing. You see, it happened in the first round. We were mixing it in the center of the ring when suddenly Dempsey caught me with a powerful right hook to my chin. It shook me a little. I realized he was dangerous, so I decided to end it quickly. I shot 2 lefts to his midsection, crossed a right to the jaw, and down he went. I didn't mean to hit him so hard. He was out for over an hour.
Gosh.
Well, so long, kids. We got to get going. You know, Mary, I was just...
Oh, shut up.
Well, look, Mary, I only tell the kids stories like that because it helps them if they have a hero to look up to.
Some hero.
Anyway, I just tell the kids harmless little stories. I don't exaggerate too much. Oh, look, there's little Georgie Foster. Isn't he cute? He's only 4. Look at him. Hello, Georgie.
Hello, Mr. President.
Oh, brother.
Mary, I never told him that. He's just ad-libbing. Come on, here's the market. Let's see. Oh, there's the poultry department over there. Come on, Mary.
Okay. And, Jack, remember what you promised. This time you're going to get a nice big turkey, not like the last one you got.
There was nothing small about that turkey.
Go on. You didn't have the heart to chop its head off. You beat it to death in a badminton game.
Mary,
And I got stuck with the parts that went over the net last.
Mary, stop trying to switch old jokes, will you? Now, let's walk over to the counter and see.
Hello, Mr. Benny.
Oh, hello, Mr. Kitzel. Oh, Mr. Kitzel, what are you doing behind the meat counter?
Oh, I'm helping out here for the holidays.
Oh, you're just working here temporarily.
Yes, until my boss gets back from the wedding.
The wedding? In London?
They had one there, too?
Yes, last Thursday. Oh. Well, look, Mr. Kitzel, I want to buy a turkey. Are they very expensive?
Expensive?
You mean they're that high?
Come here a minute.
Huh?
Step closer. Do you know that turkeys are what turkeys are selling for today?
No.
Well, if you knew, you'd be nervous too. Come a little closer. Come closer.
Huh?
Lean over a little.
What?
80 cents a pound.
Well, why do you have to whisper it?
I don't want the turkey should get hammy.
80 cents a pound. That's a lot of money for turkey.
See, they got to live too.
I suppose so.
Say, Jack, while you're getting the turkey, I better shop around and get some things for the stuffing.
I think I have everything at home, Mary.
Well, what about cracker crumbs?
Oh, I got plenty there.
Stale bread?
2 loaves I've got.
Oysters?
1 can.
Sage?
38.
What?
Oh, I thought you said something else. Yes, we have everything.
Well, Mr. Benner, what's your pleasure if I can be so accommodating?
Well, I'd like to get a live turkey, about 25 pounds.
The live turkeys are over there, down by the end of the counter.
Oh, yes. I think I'll take that one on the right. You know, it looks nice and plump.
Put on your glasses. That's my wife.
Oh, yes.
I wish I could get 80 cents a pound for her.
What?
Nothing. I'm daydreaming.
Well, now, Mr. Kitzel, what would you suggest?
Well, if you want a nice live turkey, what about this one over here?
Say, Jack, this one's nice and plump.
I've seen turkeys look plump, and they're all full of feathers. I'm going to feel this one myself. Hold still, turkey.
Oh, you and your cold hands.
Well, Mary, what do you think about it?
Oh, that looks all right.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have the heart to kill it. Oh, just look at its eyes. The same color as mine. Sultry summer blue.
Oh, Jack, stop being so sentimental. You've already given up eating strawberries because they remind you of Phil Harris's eyes.
Mary, Mr. Kittle, how much does this turkey weigh?
About 36 pounds. My scale is broken.
Oh, well, I'll weigh it on that scale over there by the door. Come here, turkey. Come here. That's a good girl. Come on, Mary, we'll go over the scale. Now, hold still, turkey. Mary, put in a penny.
Okay. Oh, look, Jack, a card came out.
Yeah, what does it say?
You weigh 36 pounds and you ain't long for this world.
There's a picture of Fred Allen on the other side there. Well, that's much too big. Oh, Mr. Kitzel.
Your pleasure.
This turkey's too big. How much does this one weigh? This one right here.
I think 29 pounds.
Aren't you sure?
Wait a minute, I'll check. Oh, Hattie, how much does this turkey weigh?
29 pounds, but I'll check. Hey, Joe, how much does this turkey weigh?
29 pounds, but I'll check. Hey, Herman, how much does this turkey weigh?
29 pounds, but I'll check.
Hey, Sam!
All right, I believe you.
Jack will be back in just a minute, but first, quality of product is essential to continuing success.
And Lucky Strike means fine tobacco.
LSMFT.
Yes, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. And fine tobacco is what counts in a cigarette. Remember what happens at the tobacco auctions? Year in, year out, at market after market, independent tobacco experts can see the makers of Lucky Strike consistently select and buy that fine, that light, that naturally mild tobacco.
Lucky Strike presents The Man Who Knows. Mr. Carl Hartfield of Greensburg, Kentucky, has been working as an independent tobacco buyer for the last 29 years. Recently, he had this to say.
Season after season, I've seen the makers of Lucky Strike buy fine tobacco. Ripe, prime leaf that's got real smoking quality. I've smoked Lucky's for over 28 years.
So for your own real, deep-down smoking enjoyment, remember...
LSMFT.
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. So smoke that smoke of fine tobacco, Lucky Strike.
Yes, next time you buy cigarettes, ask for Lucky Strike. So round, so firm, so fully packed. So free and easy on the draw.
Good night, folks.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.
The greatest of blessings by heart, and you don't know how lucky you
How Lucky You Are, sung by Dennis Day. Very good, Dennis. Say, Mary.
Aren't you going to ask me how I broke my leg?
No, I'm not, and stop being silly. Now, what did I start to say? Oh, yeah, you know, Mary, I've been giving it a lot of thought, and I don't know just who would be the right one to play me in the life of Jack Benny.
Or how about Van Johnson?
Well, he's good, Mary, but he isn't quite old enough, you know.
How about Cornell Wilde?
No, he isn't old enough either.
How about John Wilkes?
As you walk, as you talk with the one you love, do you know just how lucky you are when you stroll hand in hand 'neath the moon above? Does your heart sing how lucky you are? There's so many heartaches in this world of ours. Sometimes a dream will come true when the one that you love is in love with you. That's the greatest of blessings by far, and you don't know how lucky you are. Does your heart sing?
Good health to all from Rexall. It's the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show, presented by the makers of Rexall drug products and 10,000 independent Rexall family druggists.
Good evening. This is your Rexall family druggist with a welcome from all 10,000 of us. The 10,000 independent druggists who have added the word Rexall to our own store names and placed the famous orange and blue Rexall sign on our windows. We've done that because we believe in the 2,000 or more drug products made by the Rexall Drug Company, and we confidently recommend them to our customers.
There's Rexall's milk of magnesia, for example. The milk of magnesia that's so mild, so creamy smooth, and free from unpleasant earthy taste, even children can taste the difference. Quality like that of Rexall milk of magnesia is what we family druggists are talking about when we tell you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall. Good health to all from Rexall. And now your Rexall family druggist brings you the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show. Written by Ray Singer and Dick Chevrolet, with Elliot Lewis, Walter Tetley, Robert North, Janine Roos, Ann Whitfield, Walter Sharp and his music, yours truly, Bill Foreman, and starring Alice Faye and Phil Harris. Like a lot of men, Phil hates to answer correspondence. Alice is constantly after him to take care of his mail, and today she's finally forced him to sit down and read some of his accumulated letters.
Phil, you ought to be ashamed the way you neglect your mail. Some of these letters have been here for years, not even opened.
Don't exaggerate. I open my mail as soon as I get it.
You do, huh? Here's one from Washington marked official business.
Let me see that. Greetings. You are hereby ordered to report to your induction center. I answered this one. I was in the Navy in 1943.
This one's from 1917.
Oh, that must be for Dad. All these letters aren't for me. Here's one for you.
What does it say?
Well, let me see. Oh, it's from the Bank of America, and it says, Dear Miss Faye, we appreciate your daily deposits, but please stop already. You're overcrowding our vault. Honey, I'm a busy man. Do I have to go through all this stuff?
Oh, you won't have to today. I put in an ad in this morning's paper for a secretary for you.
Well, I don't need a... Secretary? Yeah, I could use one of them cute little gals to kind of...
Oh, that Wonga. That's not what you're getting. I advertised for a man secretary.
A man secretary? Pull yourself together, Hilda. You're making noises like a wife now. What's the matter with you? Don't you trust me?
Oh, of course I do. If you insist on a woman secretary, it's okay with me. I'll get you a sweet, charming, middle-aged spinster.
That ain't gonna do it. Look, I want a young girl, my own age.
A young girl your age? Let's face it, Curly, there ain't no such animal. Besides, I've practically hired a man already. And Mr. Sweeney called this morning. He sounded very efficient. I told him to come over for an interview.
But, honey, a girl can be just as efficient. If you think I'm going to take an old man when I get...
Curly.
Oh, hello, Frankie. Hey, good morning. I'm glad you're here. Look, you can settle an argument with me. Now, if you were hiring a secretary and you had a choice between an efficient old man or a pretty young girl, which would you choose?
Well, that's not a choice. That's just a stupid question.
Now, you see, Alice, Frankie agrees with me.
Of course. Guy would be a fool to choose a pretty young girl when he can get an efficient old man. Business efficiency is the prime requisite in the administration of the customary protocol.
Well, if I'd have known you were coming, I'd have baked the dictionary.
What's all the secretary talk about? Who needs one?
Well, Alice feels that I need one because I can't answer my mail.
Why hire a secretary? Just go to night school and learn how to write.
I know how to write.
Write me something.
All right. Now, look, Alice. Let me tell you something, young lady. I happen to be the boss of this house, and I decided that I don't want a male secretary. I'm hiring a girl, and that's final. I'm putting my foot down.
Well, I'm glad you're putting it down. You look awfully silly standing there on one foot. Quiet. please. Excuse me, I have an errand to do. I have to go next door and borrow a cup of axle grease. I'll see you later.
Alice, you're not telling me what I'm... Cup of axle grease. Guess she ran out of Crisco. Alice, come back here.
Yes?
What kind of an exit line was that?
Oh, I'm sorry, dear. I guess I've been standing out in the rain too long.
What rain?
The rain from the song of the same name.
Oh, you little trickster, you.
Let us cuddle in the rain, pitter patters on the pane, and we're alone. A chance to while away a dreamy afternoon, a lovely peaceful afternoon. No one can see us. Rain, it's so cozy in the rain. There's no reason to complain if he's with you. You hold his hand and then extend to one who kisses in the rain, rain, rain. Let us cuddle in the rain, pitter patter on the pane. A chance to while away a dreamy afternoon, a lovely peaceful afternoon. No one can see us. Rain, the ember rain. There's no reason to complain. He's with you. To hold his hand and then to one you kiss him in the rain, rain,
Well, excuse me while I go next door. And don't forget, Phil, you're not having a girl secretary. You're having a man.
Yes, dear. Yes, dear. Assert yourself. If you don't want a male secretary, don't hire one. You're right, Remley. I won't hire a man. Uh-oh. That's probably the guy now. Let's give it to him. Let's get rid of him.
Oh, how do you do? My name is Robert Q. Sweeney. I'm here for the job.
What job?
Oh, the one you told me about on the phone, Mrs. Harris.
Oh, this boy's off to a great start. I got news for you, kid. I'm Mr. Harris.
Oh, I'm sorry. With these new short haircuts women have, it's hard to tell. I get kind of confused.
I can understand that.
A very embarrassing thing happened to me a few months back. I went with a girl for 2 weeks, and it wasn't until I kissed her that I found out it was her father.
That must have been very disappointing.
Yeah. What I thought was hot lips turned out to be a cheap cigar.
Righto. All right, Remley, you can drop the net now. So long, Sweeney. Don't forget to say hello to the governor. Keep in touch with us, Sween. If you ever manage to get an arm loose, drop us a line.
Well, wait a minute. Mrs. Harris said she wanted to interview me about the job, and I'm not going to budge until I talk to her.
Hey, Curling, we'd better interview this guy and get him out of here fast before Alice sees him.
Yeah. She'll probably think he's cute. Sweeney, on second thought, we'll interview you. After all, you'll be working for our firm.
What firm?
What firm? Harrison Remley Incorporated, the world's largest manufacturers of fireproof mustache cups. And stainless steel codfish balls.
Fireproof mustache cups? I never heard of anything like that.
Stainless steel codfish balls you heard of, huh?
You're gonna love our new line, ball-bearing flapjacks. By the way, Mr. Remley, how are our flapjacks doing lately?
Great. They're selling like hotcakes.
That's a pretty lousy joke. If you fellas don't mind, I'd rather talk to Mrs. Harris.
Phil, did that man show up for the job
Oh,
yet?
Remley, quick, shove him in that clothes closet. Shove him in there till I get rid of Alice.
Yeah, okay. If you want to talk to Mrs. Harris, Mr. Sweeney, just step in this other room for a minute. Right this way. Attaboy.
Man, we got him in that closet just in time.
Phil, I thought I heard a strange voice out here. Did that man show up for the job yet?
You don't see him, do you?
Well, when he does show up, tell him to wait for me. I'm going next door to borrow a glass of paint thinner. I'll be right back.
Okay, honey, I'll catch you when he... Glass of paint thinner? First it was axle grease, and now it's paint thinner. Remley, what do you suppose she has in mind?
I don't know. But I ain't going to stay for dinner.
Look, do me a favor, will you? Now, while she's gone, let's get Sweeney out of that clothes closet and get rid of him. Will you help? Hey, Sweeney! Sweeney, you can come on out now.
That's a nice room in there. Doesn't get much sun, but it's cozy. Mr. Harris, I hope you don't think I'm a pig, but while I was waiting in there, I practically finished that whole box of mentholated bonbons.
Mentholated bon... Remley's been eating the mothballs. What'll we do?
Let him finish them. We'll get him a job breathing on overcoats. There's a scarcity of men with mothballs.
All right. I'm all up with you now. That's fine. How are we going to get rid of this guy?
Frighten him.
How?
Sing at him. That ought to scare the mothballs out of him.
Give me that old-time religion, that old-time religion. Give me that old-time religion. It's good enough for me. It was good for Paul and Silas. Good for Paul and Silas. It was good for Paul and Silas, and it's good enough for me. Show me that place by the river, that place by the river. Show me that place by the river on Jordan's sunny shore.
What said Daniel from the lions? Said Daniel from the lions. What helped Daniel with the lions? Deacon starting telling me.
Well, it was that old-time religion, that old-time religion. Yes, that old-time religion, and it's good enough for me.
It helped Daniel with the lions. It helped to set him free.
Well, if it's good enough for Danny, then it's good enough for me. So give me that old-time religion, give me that old-time religion, give me that old-time religion. It's good enough for me. I'll be listening for Gabriel, listening for Gabriel. I'll be listening for Gabriel to blow on Judgment Day.
What helped David with Goliath? Helped David with Goliath. What helped David slay Goliath? What was it set him free?
Well, that old-time religion, old-time religion. Yes, that old-time religion, it's good enough for me.
It helped David with Goliath. It helped to set him free.
And if it's good enough for Davy, then it's good enough for me. Give me that old-time religion, old-time religion, old-time religion. It's good enough for me.
Now what rescued Brother Jonah? What rescued Brother Jonah? What was it saved old Jonah from the belly of the whale?
That old-time religion, old-time religion. Yes, that old-time religion, it's never known to fail.
It saved Jonah from the whale, yes, it helped to set him free.
And if it's good enough for Joni, then it's good enough for me. So give me that old-time religion, old-time religion, old-time religion. It's good enough for me. Well, give me that old-time religion, old-time religion, old-time religion. It's good enough for me. I want that old-time religion, give me that old-time religion. It's good enough for me.
He's still here. I guess he didn't hear you.
Oh, yes. I picked him up on my hearing aid. You came through splendidly, Mr. Harris.
Yes, Mr. Harris has a high hooper on the sonotone.
Now, look, Sweeney, I don't want to... Oh, no, there's the bell. That's probably some other guy answering the ad. Frankie, I'll sneak Sweeney out the back and you answer the front door. Hurry up.
Yeah, hurry.
Come on, Sweeney. We're going bye-bye.
Oh, good. Can we go to the pony ride?
Come on. Now, remember, Remley, if anybody comes after that job, get rid of him, because I don't want no secretary.
Yeah, okay, Curly. I'll brush him off fast. I'm coming. I'm sorry, but we can't use you. We don't need no secretary.
Not even me?
Well. You can throw away my guitar, Mother. I found something better to hold on my lap. What can I do for you, honey?
Well, I'm here in answer to the ad Mrs. Harris had in the paper for a secretary.
Mrs. Harris wants a man.
Who doesn't?
You intrigue me, miss. Come on in.
Thank you. I know the ad called for a man, but, well, I thought I might get the job because I'm a very competent secretary.
Any fool can see that. Now then. What is your name, dear?
Clyde.
Clyde?
Well, that's my last name. My first name is Myrtle.
Do you have any references?
Oh, I'm afraid not. All I have is a few pictures of me in a bathing suit. Here you are.
Well, honey, that won't do any good. I can't tell from these if you... What lovely references.
Do you think I'll qualify for the job?
I'm sure you will. But let's not be hasty. Being a cautious businessman, I'll have to give you the secretary aptitude test.
What's that?
When I blow this whistle, you start running around that desk.
What's the test?
I run around after you, and if you get winded before I do, you get the job. Ready, Mark? Get set.
Oh, no, you're being silly. If you were to chase me around that desk, I wouldn't run away.
You wouldn't? What would you do?
Well, you see this hat pin?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not wearing a hat, and I'd have to put it someplace.
You're fighting me.
Do I get the job?
Of course you do, my dear. I'm sure things will work.
I got rid of Sweeney.
Good. Now come on in and meet your new secretary.
Frankie, I told you I don't want no secretary.
But I'll be such a big help to you.
I don't care. I don't need your help. Boing. Hey, Remley, what's all this?
This is the secretary Alice advertised for.
I don't think this is what Alice had in mind.
Oh, but she's a good secretary.
I don't care. Get Luella lap warmer out of here.
Now, Curly, you're not being fair. Just because this girl happens to be pretty doesn't mean she isn't capable. You should see this kid's references.
Please, gentlemen, don't fight over me. If you don't want me, I'll leave. I don't know where I'll go or what i'll do, but I guess nobody cares.
Now, miss, please don't do that. This kid cries pretty good. Let me have just a little more of that, honey. He's living it up now, isn't he? Got news for you. You don't have to cry, kid. Now, please stop bawling because I've got news for you. You can have the job.
I can? Oh, you're a darling.
That's all right.
But you're the nicest old man I've ever met.
What do you mean, old man? I'm just a youth. In fact, it was only last week that Mother bought me my first pair of long pants. Do you like them?
Very much. They cover your varicose veins.
You're so nice to give me the job, and well, I'd like to show my appreciation. May I kiss your cheek?
Would it make you happy, my dear?
I just have to show my appreciation. There. Hey, I bring the groceries and... What have we here?
Now, wait a minute, Julia.
Ain't this a touching little scene that I can make a quick buck on if I shout to the right gossip column?
Now, Julius, I tell you, there's nothing wrong with this.
I can see the headline now. What pretty young thing was found in the arms of what broken-down band leader who delivered the
Now, what are you talking about? I ain't done nothing.
Nothing, he says. I saw the whole thing with my own prejudiced little eyes. This sweet young thing came to your door selling Girl Scout cookies. Whereupon you took her in your arms and forced your burning kisses on her unwilling lips.
What cooking? All I did was hire as my secretary, and she was so grateful that she gave me a little kiss on the cheek.
I like my version better. Got more reader impact, more social significance, and a higher retail value.
Oh, Julius, the whole thing is innocent. What are you trying to do, kid? Start trouble?
Yeah.
Well, it won't work. Alice ain't going to believe no stories you tell her. She has implicit trust in me, and justly so, because in our 8 years of marriage, I can safely say that we have been married 8 years.
I don't want to cause trouble. Perhaps I'd better leave.
Stay where you are, my pet. I won't hesitate to introduce you to Mrs. Harris, because my little woman ain't got a jealous bone in her body. And I assure you that...
Did Mrs. Sweeney arrive yet in answer to her? Well, who is this?
Oh, this? Oh, darling, I want you to meet Julius Abruzio. He's the new grocery boy. Mr. Abruzio, this is my wife, Mrs. Harris. She's been with me for some time now.
I know who he is. Who is that?
That? Oh, that's Frankie Remley.
Bill Harris, who is this?
I'm running out of people.
I think she's got you cornered, Curly.
Not yet. Darling, I want you to meet my new secretary, Mr. Sweeney.
This guy never gives up. How do you do, Mrs. Harris? But my name isn't Sweeney. It's Clyde.
That's right, honey. You see, it was Clyde. I thought maybe, honey, that a girl secretary would be better. The least we can do is to give the girl a chance.
Well, I'm fair-minded. If you want the job, Miss Clyde, you can have it.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Harris. When do I start, and what are my duties?
Oh, it's a very easy job. The hours are from 8 in the morning until 12 midnight, 7 days a week. You get 20 minutes for lunch once a week. You also get every other Christmas off, and if there's any overtime work to be done, you'll have to do it on your own time. Any questions?
How about money?
Oh, no, thanks. You'll be doing enough for us already.
Your little woman don't have a jealous bone in her body, eh, Curly? Her bones are very unjealous. They just happen to be covered with jealous fat.
Alice, you're not being fair to this little girl.
No, she's a very efficient secretary. Frankie says she has wonderful references. Go ahead, Miss Clyde. Show my wife your references.
That ain't going to help, Curly.
I guess I'm not wanted around here, so I'll leave. Thank you and goodbye.
Clydie, dear, don't go. Don't leave me just when we're beginning to know each other.
I'm sorry, but I'm going.
Well, at least leave me something to remember you by. A little trinket, a lock of your hair. Or better yet, have your references blown up and send me 3 copies.
She's gone. Poor kid's feelings were hurt.
Certainly. Alice, you were horrid. Poor child's on the verge of tears. She needed this job, and that must be her again. She probably hasn't got car fare home, and I'm going to give it to her. Here's $1, honey. Take a cab home.
I'll need $2.50, dear. I live in Glendale.
What are you doing back here, Sweeney?
I left my cap in that other room.
Oh, are you the Mr. Sweeney I spoke to on the phone?
Oh, you must be Mrs. Harris. I hope you'll give me that job. I'm a very good secretary. I've had 4 years of college, 2 years of business school, and I've held several very important jobs.
You're just what we're looking for, Mr. Sweeney. You're hired.
Alice, just... Please, we can't hire him. He's a nut. He eats mothballs, and for 3 months he was engaged to his girlfriend's father.
Phil, stop making things up. Mr. Sweeney, report for work tomorrow morning.
Oh, you won't regret hiring me, Mrs. Harris. I'm a peachy typist, and I'm alert and keen and always on my toes. Goodbye.
See you tomorrow, Mr. Sweeney. Oh, by the way, I almost forgot something very important. How is your shorthand?
Oh, it's growing nicely, thank you.
Well,
see you bright and early.
Good night.
Alice and Phil will be back in just a moment. Right now, here's your Rexall family druggist.
Last week, a customer said to me,
I wish I knew some way to be sure I'm getting enough vitamins. Some way that's easy. Yes, and inexpensive, too.
Why, ma'am, millions of people know how to do that. They take Plenamins, Rexall's popular multivitamin capsules. Plenamins cost only a few pennies a day, and yet they give you more than your daily minimum requirement of every vitamin for which such requirements have been established. Plus, valuable liver concentrate and iron. And that's not me talking, ma'am. That's an ironclad guarantee from Rexall scientists.
But just how are they able to guarantee that?
Because they measure the vitamin content of Plenamins with scientific accuracy. Take vitamin C, for example. A Plenamins capsule is dissolved in solution, and then a bluish dye is added in minute quantities and very, very slowly. The dye combines with the vitamin C in the capsule and loses its color. Now, this is continued until the dye begins to overcome the vitamin C and slightly color the solution. Thus, the amount of dye the solution has absorbed becomes an accurate measurement of the amount of vitamin C in the capsule.
No wonder you family druggists sound so confident when you tell us...
You can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall. Well, it's more than a slogan. It's a fact.
Good health to all from Rexall.
We're a little late, so good night, everyone, and thanks.
Next, Sam Spade, then Doug Fairbanks on Theater Guild on NBC.
And now, folks, going from the ridiculous to the nauseating. Hello, Phil.
Hiya, Jackson. Sorry I'm late, pal. I bet you thought I'd never get here.
I prayed for it. Well, tell me, Phil, how do you like broadcasting on Friday for a change?
I don't know. How much change am I going to get? Ha, 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 ha! That Harris is phenomenal with a capital F tonight. Yes, sir.
You corny. But on the level, Phil, don't you think Sunday is a pretty blank day now that all the comedians are off for the season?
What do you mean, all the comedians? Fred Allen is still broadcasting.
Phil, calling Allen a comedian is like slipping a rocking chair under Gypsy Rose Lee and calling her Whistler's mother. Allen, a comedian. Look, fellas, anybody can get laughs with that stuff Fred Allen does every week. Take that Allen's Alley, for instance. There's nothing to it.
What do you mean, there's nothing to it? I mean, it's a surefire formula. Now, look. Every Sunday he goes around, knocks on doors, and asks a question. I'll show you. Give me that clothespin. What are you going to do, Jackson? I'm going to put it on my nose and make off like Fred Allen and take a trip to Benny's Boulevard. Now, Mary, you be Portland Hoffa. Dennis, I want you to be Socrates Mulligan. And Phil, you're Falstaff, the highbrow poet. All right, Mary, let's go. Wait till I get this clothespin on my nose. Wait. Me. Go ahead, Mary. Start it.
Okay. Oh, Mr. Benny! Mr. Benny!
Well, what is it, Seattle? As the broom said to the dustpan, what do you hear from the mop? I ad-libbed that, folks. I'm always ad-libbing.
Mama says if you don't stop ad-libbing, someday you're going to say something funny and surprise everybody.
Oh, your mother.
Have you got a question for Benny's Boulevard, Mr. Benny?
I certainly have, Seattle, and this is it. Who is the funnier comedian, Jack Benny or Fred Allen? And here we go to Benny's Boulevard to investigate. Well, here we are at Benny's Boulevard.
Is this near Allen's Alley, Mr. Benny?
I can't tell. I've got this clothespin on my nose. Well, let's find out what John Doe has to say.
Oh, it's you again.
Good afternoon. Now tell me, Mr. Doe, do you listen to radio?
Only the commercials. You know what they talk about what they're selling.
Well, what about the show itself that follows the commercial?
Well, by the time that starts, I'm already down at the corner buying this stuff.
I see. Then you wouldn't know who's the funnier comedian, Fred Allen or Jack Benny.
Nah. All I know is...
I see. Now, Seattle. Now, Seattle, we'll see what Mrs. Nussbaum has to say.
No.
Tell me, Mrs. Nussbaum, who do you think is the funniest comedian on the radio?
Well, my first husband liked Abbott and Castellano.
That's Costello.
And my second spouse is liking Fibber, McGee, and Becky.
I see. Well, tell me, Mrs. Nussbaum, who is your favorite comedian? Is it Jack Benny?
You should live so long. Are we going home now, Mr. Benny?
What are you holding your nose for?
Shall I tell him, folks?
Seattle, behave yourself. Now to find out what Socrates Mulligan thinks. He lives right here. Well, Mr. Mulligan. Get this one, folks. Well, Mr. Mulligan, I'm here to stew with you. I'm an ad-libbing fool. Now, Mr. Mulligan, I'm going to name two comedians, and you tell me which one you prefer. First, Fred Allen.
Oh, he makes me laugh.
And what does Jack Benny make you do? Seattle, we're not getting any place.
Try this next house, Mr. Benny.
Okay.
Welcome, friends. Pray do come in. Falstaff's here, and I ain't 10.
You ain't fat either. There I go with another ad-lib. Falstaff, tonight... This thing is killing me up here. Falstaff, tonight we have a brand new question for you.
That is precisely why I'm here.
That's precisely.
I have written a poem.
Then Chrysley was right. out, Uncle Mo. You bought that hat too big. No, I haven't. Or I've saved the gloves that Mother wore when she knocked out Gunboat Smith. Now, wait a minute, Falstaff. My question tonight is this. Who do you think is a funnier comedian, Fred Allen or Jack Benny? Allen is corny. He's nasal, he's dull. Benny's the same with no hair on his skull. But all that I asked was for you to compare us. For a Sacco comedian, just give me Bill Harris. So, ladies and gentlemen, we wave goodbye to Benny's Boulevard as two pretty waves wave back. This ad-libbing will be the death of me. See what I mean, folks?
Mr. Benny's residence, autograph oranges, sent from the police.
Rochester, this is Mr. Fred Allen. I just got in from New York.
Oh, hello, Mr. Allen. Mr. Benny ain't home, either.
Yes, I know that.
Mr. Allen, Mr. Benny's pet chicken is awful sick.
His chicken is sick? What's wrong with it?
I'm frying it to death.
Well, Rochester, here's what I called about. Is there any chance of using Mr. Benny's room while he's away?
Did you say use or rent?
I get it. I tell you what, Rochester, I'll take the room, and when Mr. Benny gets home, I'll give him a check for whatever he wants.
Give him a check?
Well, yes.
That kind of eliminates the middleman, don't it?
Well, how about this? I'll give you the check, and you can give it to Mr. Benny.
How about this? You give me the cash and let Major take it forward.
Well, I don't see why we should be arguing about money, Rochester. After all, you should be glad to have someone around the house. You must be mighty lonesome in that big place there, all alone.
All alone? Oh, Mr. Allen, come now.
Rochester, I hesitate to think what Mr. Benny will say when he gets home.
Won't do for radio, will it?
I'm afraid not. Well, Rochester, I guess I won't get much rest at the house of Benny with all your friends whooping it up around there.
I'm inclined to agree. You're so right.
So I'll just let the room go. Goodbye, Rochester.
Goodbye, Mr. Allen. That was a close one. I nearly rented the room, honey.
Honey? Rochester, to whom were you just talking?
Oh, that was my cousin Sylvester. Sylvester J. Honey. Goodbye, honey. I mean, Mr. Allen.
Fred, my darling.
Oh, you fool. Oh, yeah.
It's so nice to have you back on radio. I've missed you.
Oh, so you are the one. According to Hooper, you are the one.
No, darling, we've all missed you. Why don't you come back, Fred?
Well, I'll tell you, darling. I have been dabbling in something which, for the want of a better name, we shall call television.
Please, darling, people are eating.
Oh, I'm sorry. Say, you didn't by any chance happen to see me on my first television show, did you?
No, I didn't, Fred.
Oh, you weren't home?
Oh, yes, I was home, darling.
Oh, no set, darling?
No guts, darling.
Well, you know television's a new medium, and I have discovered why they call it a medium. Because nothing is well done. Or very little.
Oh, darling, I think you're so funny.
So you are the one.
No, Fred. No, seriously speaking, darling.
Well, as if we haven't been. What else?
Well, no. Why did you leave radio?
Well, I'll tell you, Tallulah, they wanted me to do one of those programs where you call up people on the telephone and ask them questions and give them prizes, you see. And that's why I quit and went into television.
You mean?
Yes, it was a choice between the medium and the telephone.
Wait for laughs. Oh,
Don't read the stuff in parentheses. You skipped
I'm
that.
sorry,
That's
Fred,
it.
I'm sorry. Well, anyway, I'm glad I was able to get you back on radio, even if it is only as a guest.
Uh-huh.
You know, when they told me about this big-name broadcast, I told them it wouldn't be a big-name broadcast without you, Fred.
Well, in radio, Fred has been a four-letter word for some time.
Oh, in fact, I insisted that they put you on this show.
Well, you insisted? You met with some stiff opposition, did you?
Well, I had to go through channels.
Oh, I say, I've read about those channels, but I had thought of coming back to radio if I could find a new formula, a format, you know. I did get one idea, and strangely enough, it came from Portland. She seemed to think that if I...
Mr. Allen!
Well...
Mr. Allen!
Well, as I stand here and feign surprise, if it isn't Portland now. Portland, Georgia, I had some more here. See, we didn't rehearse the audience. It says applause after this. Which is, this is what's mixing things. Portland, you're just in time. This is Tallulah Bankhead.
Hello, Portland. I'm glad to see you.
How do you do, sir?
Portland, I understand that you weren't on the first television show Fred did. Why was that?
But my dress wasn't cut low enough.
Oh. You mean a dress with a V-neck?
A TV neck.
Well, before this conversation gets too Faye, Portland, how about telling Tallulah the idea you thought up for a radio show for me?
Oh, I didn't think of it. Mama thought of it.
Oh, your mother is writing for radio now? Well, by the way, I was on television the other night, Portland. Did your mother see me?
Oh, she never could.
You mean that your mother thinks that I...
As Mama put it, to the high heavens.
Ad-lib a stinging retort.
Fred, you're reading the parentheses.
Oh, the parentheses, this jumbo type. Oh, yes, well, Portland, enough of Mama as a George G. Nothing. Now, how about this idea of hers for a radio show?
Yes, let's hear the idea.
The idea.
Well, Mama thought first you ought to have an announcer who's big and fat and jolly and laughs all through the program.
Yucks it up, huh?
And you ought to get an orchestra leader who's tall, good-looking, and eats ham hocks.
Ham hocks? Well, say, Portland, that sounds like...
And you have a young fellow who sings. And his mother always wants you to pay him more money.
Singer, but Portland, that idea...
And you have a butler who drives your car, which is a broken-down Maxwell.
Maxwell, but...
And you have a quartet that sings your commercial.
Commercial, but...
And for your sponsor, you get a cigarette company.
Cigarette, but...
And you'll be the star of the show, Mr. Allen.
Really? I can be in it, too,
huh? You
Yeah.
wear a toupee.
Yeah.
You're always 39 years old. You play a violin, and you do your own laundry. And you have a washing machine that you rent out to your neighbors. And you're very tight, and you keep your money down in a ball.
I'm sort of the pinch penny type, huh?
Yes, and that's a wonderful title. You could call it the Pinch Penny Program.
Well, I don't know, Portland. What's the future in becoming a salesman for Jell-O? I mean, where could you go?
Well, what's the matter? Do you think Mama's idea revolutionary?
Well, it is a little revolting.
What do you think, Miss Bankhead? You haven't had any lines for a whole page.
I was wondering when you'd notice, darling.
Do you think that kind of a program would go anywhere?
Yes, darling, to another network.
Well, how about trying out this idea right now, Mr. Allen?
No, I don't think I could...
But, Mr. Allen, what have you got to lose?
Face.
An excellent reason for doing it, darling. So on with the Pinch Penny program.
Pinch Penny.
The Pinch Penny program. Ha, 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 ha. 30 minutes of hijinks with your favorite radio comedian, star of stage, screen, and laundry, Pinch Penny. Well, here it is, 7 o'clock. o'clock, and Pinch Penny isn't here yet. I wonder where he can be.
Say, that always gets me. There's a guy who gets $25,000 a week for doing that program, and you know he's not going to be late. He's probably been standing there since noon with his bare money belt hanging out. Try another opening. Could you scare up another opening?
Okay. Well, as you know, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first show of the new season. And so we give you the star of our show, just back from an extended 3-month, 40-cent tour of Radio City, Pinch Penny.
Hello again, this is Pinch Penny. And Don Thomas, you know that's not true. You know I took a cruise to Honolulu. It was a wonderful boat trip.
Really? How did you go, Mr. Penny? First class?
Well, not exactly.
Second class?
Well, no, you see...
Third class?
Well, no, Don Z.
Oh, then you must have gone steerage.
Steerage? Why, Don, how can you say that about me?
It's easy. Didn't you find it pretty crowded down in steerage?
Don, for your information, I'll have you know that I had the whole boat to myself.
What boat was that?
Well, it was one of those little boats that hangs over the side of the big boat.
Oh, so you went stowaway.
Yes, that's the class I was trying to think of. And it's the only way to travel, Don, with the wind and the spray in my hair.
Your hair, Mr. Penny?
Well, I had it hanging over the side of the boat. Now, stop that, Don.
Did you like Honolulu?
Oh, it's so colorful there, and I'll never forget the day we docked. All the little native boys standing on the pier, and the people on the boat throwing pennies into the water, and the way those little rascals dive in and fight to get that money.
They go to all that trouble for pennies?
Well, after all, Don, it's not taxable. No inheritance tax or anything. Liquid assets, you know, just as you pick it out.
Now, Mr. Penny, don't tell me that you...
Now, Don, please, after all, say, where is everybody? Where's Dennis? I want to talk to Dennis about his song for our first show.
Oh, here he is. Hello, Dennis.
Hello, Don. Mr. Penny, my mother thinks.
Hello, Dennis.
My mother thinks I ought to get more money for this new season.
I said hello, Dennis.
Hello, Mr. Penny. My mother thinks I ought to get more money for this new season.
Now, later, kid. Now, look, for your first song this year...
My mother thinks I'm underpaid.
Your mother doesn't know what she's talking about. Now, for your...
Ooh, what you said.
Now, for your first song...
My mother is the brains of the family.
Some brains. Now, look, kid, for your first song...
She was an undergraduate from the University of Southern California.
Come louder.
I say she was an undergraduate from the University...
Now, cut that out! I pay you ample salary.
You mean sample? My mother says that Bing Crosby makes as high as $50 a week and sometimes $75.
Well, Bing Crosby has a lot of interest. He's in the orange juice business. He owns a baseball club.
Where does he find the time for all that?
He makes movies. He runs a racetrack.
Where does he find the time for all that?
He has 4 sons.
Where does he find the time?
Where?
Well, my mother either says I get money or I'll quit.
Well, goodbye, darling. Goodbye, Dennis.
Every time I open my mouth to quit, somebody says goodbye, darling. All right, goodbye. And my mother says she's going to send you back these pennies you sent from Honolulu.
Where?
Mr. Penny, you don't mean you dove for pennies with those kids in Honolulu.
Well, the water was so delightfully warm, Darcy. And now I am in the spot.
Where is everybody, Mr. Penny? We got to have a rehearsal of the show.
Well, Portchester should be here any minute with the scripts.
Well, here's Portchester now.
Oh, yes. Hello, Portchester.
Hello, Bo.
Now, look, darling. Portchester. Did you finish typing the scripts?
Yes, Bo, but I had a lot of trouble. It's tough to write on a typewriter with only 5 keys on it.
Only 5 letters on that typewriter?
Well, what's the matter with that? I've done very well with those 5 letters.
What 5 letters are they, Portchester?
L, S, M, F, and T. Well, it's like sending up smoke signals.
Well, it's a Corona typewriter, isn't it?
Mr. Penny, I think you're the funniest.
So you're the one.
Well, I wish the rest of the cast would get here so we could rehearse.
Well, Mr. Penny, I have the quartet here if you wanted to run over the commercial.
We have no commercial. This is a sustaining program.
But they've already rehearsed it, Mr. Penny, haven't you, fellas?
But, fellas, we don't need a quartet. We have no commercial.
Okay, fellas, let them hear it.
But, fellas...
S-U-S-T-A-I-N-I-N-G, we're sustaining NBC. S-U-S-T-A-I-N-I-N-G, who's sustaining OTD.
But, fellas...
S-U-S-T-A-I-N-I-N-G, all our
boys, men...
Quiet! Quiet!
Now, look. Well... Another well and I'll strike oil. Look, fellas, I haven't got time for that now. I'm waiting for my clarinet teacher. He's supposed to be here. I'm going to call him up and see what's keeping him. Hand me that phone, will you, Porchester?
Here you are, Bo.
Thank you. Hello? Hello, operator? What is the matter with those girls out there?
Mindy, blue eyes is flashing. If they are, Ethel, it's the first time I ever saw them flash. Did he give you a present when he got back from his vacation? Yeah, he gave me a locket. Ain't it a beauty? Oh, yeah, an Indian head. But it's nice, though, isn't it? Oh, they're a dime a dozen. Oh, not these. They've gone up. They're 10 for a dime. But instead of bringing me expensive gifts, I sure wish he'd stop making up new rules. Oh, Mindy, you're always telling me about your troubles. I have troubles, too, but you never ask me how I'm getting along. All right, Ethel. How are you getting along? Don't ask. Hey, how are you getting along with Herman? Don't ask. Gee, I thought he was going to take you out Saturday night. Didn't ask. Why? I thought he had intentions. Oh, sure he's got intentions, but he don't want to get married. Oh, man, you sure got to hand it to him. Not Herman. He takes it himself. That other fellow, what's his name? You know, Harry. Oh, I could never marry him. Why not? Well, we used to ride home on the subway together, and I got off on 34th Street, and he got off on 23rd Street. So what? So I realized I could never marry a man below my station. Say, Ethel, he's flashing again. Maybe we ought to answer. Hello? Hello? Yes, hello?
Hey, what's going on out there? I want you to get my clarinet teacher on the phone for me and tell him to come right down here. What? Oh, all right. I'll give you one, too. Gold diggers, copper diggers, Indian heads she wants here.
I'm back, Mr. Penny. My mother changed my mind.
Oh, she did?
But this is going to be my last season because for next year my mother's got me a contract with Metro Goldwyn Mayer for $1,000 a week.
1,000? Oop. Where?
That's right, 1,000 a week.
MGM signed a contract with you?
Oh, signed.
Now cut that out.
Have no fear. Meredith Harris is here.
Well, it's about time. It's about time you showed up. Where were you?
Now, take it easy, Dad. I'm here, ain't I? Where was you, he asked me.
Where was you? I said, where were you?
Okay, if you're going to get geometrical about it. Well, ain't we dandy? If I'd have known, I'd have brung you an apple.
It's not brung, it's broad.
Ah, tell it to the morons. What goes around here? How about the rehearsal?
You'll have to wait until we get through with my clarinet lesson. Until my teacher comes, I think I'll do a little practicing. My teacher will be here any minute. He comes by bus, so it'll take a little while for him to get here.
I think I'll get down and have an ice cream soda.
I think I'll go down, too. I'll have an ice cream soda with you. Yeah, I'm going down, too. I can't stand any more of this. Well, come with us. You going to have a soda? Yeah. I always take one jigger of soda. Gotta leave plenty of room for that good stuff on top.
Cowards. You're back again, are you, Portland? Well, tell me, what did your mother think of the way we took off that sterling character she originated for radio?
Well, Mr. Allen, She doesn't think it's your type of program.
Really?
She has another fellow in mind for it.
Mr. Livingston, I presume?
Well, she has got a wonderful idea that would just fit you.
Oh, another idea, really?
She thinks you ought to have a program where you walk down an alley and you talk to people you meet there, like a Southern congressman, an old farmer, and an Irishman.
And tell a lot of old surefile jokes and find myself broadcasting at the same time everybody else is listening to a quiz program someplace. I know what you mean, Paul, and I'm not going through that again. No, sir, I'm not.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dennis Day.
Oh, I think life seems worthwhile dwells in your eyes and the spell of your smile.
Dennis Day is brought to you by Colgate Dental Cream and Luster Cream Shampoo. Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth. Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous dream girl hair. The Dennis Day Show with Barbara Eiler, B. Benaderet, Dink Trout, John Brown, Charles Dant in the orchestra, and yours truly, Vern Smith, is written by Frank Galen and stars our popular young singer in A Day in the Life of Dennis Day. Here's Dennis with the story of the blue-tailed fly.
When I was young, I used to wait on Master and give him his place and pass the bottle when he got dry and brush away the blue-tailed fly. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. My master's gone away. And when he'd ride in the afternoon, I'd follow after with a hickory broom, the pony being rather shy. When bitten by a blue-tailed fly, Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. My master's gone away. One day he on the farm, the flies so numerous they did swarm. One chance to bite him on the thigh. The devil take the blue-tailed fly. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. My master's gone away. The pony run, he jump, he pitch. He threw my master in the ditch. He died, and the jury wondered why. The verdict was the blue-tailed fly. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. My master's gone away. They lay him under a simmon tree. His epitaph is there to see. Beneath this stone shall I, victim of the blue-tailed fly. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. My master's gone away. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. My master's gone away.
Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth. No other toothpaste does a better job of cleaning teeth than Colgate Dental Cream. For Colgate Dental Cream has a safe polishing agent that cleans your teeth both gently and thoroughly, brings out their natural sparkle and beauty. You can actually see and feel the difference. And scientific tests prove that Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth. Yes, actual scientific tests prove conclusively that in 7 out of 10 cases, Colgate instantly stops unpleasing breath that originates in the mouth. Colgate Dental Cream is famous for its wonderful wake-up flavor, too. Nationwide tests of leading toothpastes prove that Colgate's is preferred for flavor over every other brand tested. Yes, preferred over every other brand tested. And no wonder, for Colgate Dental Cream is the result of constant effort to produce the finest toothpaste in the world today. For cleaning teeth, for flavor, for sweetening breath. So see if you don't agree with the millions who have made Colgate Dental Cream America's favorite toothpaste. Try Colgate Dental Cream to bring out the natural sparkle and beauty of your teeth. For a wake-up flavor you'll thoroughly enjoy. And always use Colgate Dental Cream after you eat and before every date to clean your breath while you clean your teeth. Well, as you all know, we refer to Dennis Day as our young hero, and it's true, of course, that he's young. But never has that other word been used more loosely. That is, until today. For today, we find our hero a hero in truth, with his picture on page 1 of the Weaverville Gazette. How come, you ask? Well, let's listen as we find him now basking in his newly won glory at the breakfast table with Mildred and her mother.
Oh, Dennis, it's just the most marvelous thing in the world.
Dennis, how did it happen?
Well, I was walking down Elm Street through the ice and snow, and suddenly I saw Mr. Nicholson, the postman, lying on the pavement. Right away, I suspected something was wrong.
Why?
Well, his right arm seemed to be coming out of his left shoulder blade, and his left ankle was doubled under his right ear.
Oh, golly.
So I said to myself, this man may have had an accident.
That's what I call quick thinking.
Well, what did you do then, Dennis?
Well, I walked up to him and I asked him what was new.
I imagine he told you, didn't he?
Oh, yes, ma'am. He went on for quite a while. And then I asked him if I could do something for him, and he said no, he was in bad enough shape already.
Do you know each other, or did he just make a lucky guess?
Oh, I don't know, but I did realize maybe someone had a burst appendix or something and had written for a doctor.
Well, Dennis, when people need a doctor in an emergency, they generally don't write a letter.
Oh, Mildred, when you're being heroic, you don't have time to think of things like that.
Oh, I see. Well, go on.
Well, I picked up Mr. Nicholson's mailbag and slung it over my shoulder. And a few hours later, it was all over. The mail had gone through.
Well, it was a wonderful thing to do, Dennis. And I'm sure the people along your route are terribly grateful.
Yeah, you bet. Mrs. Dolan told me she never enjoyed getting letters so much in her life before.
You mean that old gossip who lives on the corner?
Yeah, I delivered somebody else's mail to her by mistake.
Oh, don't you worry about it, Dennis. I'm sure... Oh, hi, Daddy.
Morning, children. Morning, cinnamon bun.
Good morning, Herbert.
Hi, Mr. Anderson.
I just picked up the morning mail, Dennis, and there's a letter for you. Here you are.
For me? Gee, I wonder who it's from. I don't recognize the writing, but that may be because it's typewritten.
Why don't you open it? There may be some sort of clue inside.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Dear Mr. Holy smoke, it's from the post office department. And they've offered me a job.
A job?
A job?
Yeah. It seems Mr. Nicholson has decided to resign, and they want me to take his place.
You mean you're going to be a postman?
Sure.
Oh, just imagine that, Mother.
Yes. A thing like this could easily bring back the carrier pigeon.
Oh, Mother. Oh, did they say anything about salary, Dennis?
Well, let's see. Yes, they say I can start at $1,700 base pay.
$1,700?
Boy, if they think that's base, they ought to hear what Mr. Willoughby is paying me.
Well, you're going to take it, of course, aren't you, my boy?
Well, Yes, sure, if I can get it, but it says here I have to pass an examination.
Oh, of course you'll pass. It's just a formality. You're going down to the store right now and tell Mr. Willoughby you're leaving him. Come on, I'll walk to the door with you.
Okay. I'll see you folks tonight.
Goodbye, Dennis.
Oh, Dennis, just think. If everything goes well with this new job, at last we can be married. Oh, won't it be wonderful?
Yeah, I'll certainly be glad to legalize our hand-holding. But right now, I'm thinking about breaking off with Mr. Willoughby. Gee, I've been with him such a long time, Mildred.
Oh, yes, but I'm sure he'll understand.
Maybe, but I'm afraid he'll take it kind of hard. You see, we're pretty fond of each other. There's never been a warmer master and slave relationship. Morning, Mr. Willoughby.
Good morning, Dennis.
I'm afraid there's something I have to tell you, Mr. Willoughby, and it won't be easy. We've always stuck together, you and I, no matter what.
Yes, and we've had some pretty horrible whats, too.
Well, I guess you better prepare yourself for a shock, Mr. Willoughby. What would you say if I told you I've carried out the last pail of garbage for you?
Dennis, you've joined a union.
Oh, no, sir, it isn't that. I'm leaving you.
What?
Please, don't say anything. Parting is such sweet sorrow. Don't make it any more difficult for me. I must go.
Gosh, really?
Oh, it's grand of you to smile, grand. I don't think I could have stood seeing a tear trickle down your lovely old face.
Dennis, I don't know what I've done to deserve this.
You've done nothing, Mr. Willoughby.
Oh, nonsense. It must be a reward for something. But there are some things I'm going to miss you for at that.
I knew there were.
Yes, those unfilled orders, the broken bottles, deliveries to the wrong addresses, customers who complained they were sold axle grease instead of cold cream. You brought me adventure, Dennis. I'm going to miss you.
Can you stand it?
I think so.
Well, I guess this is it then, Mr. Willoughby.
Yeah, I guess it is.
I'll come back later, of course.
What's that?
Oh, just to visit and get my things.
Oh, yes. Well, I'll see you at the door.
Oh, no, I couldn't stand it. No lingering farewells. I just want to remember you as you are this minute. That big, firm nose, that receding hairline, those shifty eyes, that...
Dennis, if you're going, go!
Yes, sir. So long, old paint.
Come in.
How do you do, sir? My name is Dennis Day. I got a letter from you saying something about a personal examination.
Yes, so you're Mr. Day. Sit right down. I'm glad to meet you.
Thank you, sir.
We're very grateful to you, Mr. Day, and your appointment is virtually assured. So we've decided to give you a simple verbal or oral examination.
Good. Either one is okay with me.
Yes. And now then, we'll get busy on the form. Name, Dennis Day, of course. Any brothers or sisters, Mr. Day?
One of each.
Names, please.
John and Marie. Marie is the sister.
Yes, I had a hunch he was. And mother and father, Mr. Day?
Also one of each.
But what are their names?
Oh, Molly and Patrick.
Thank you. I think we can tell which is which at a glance.
Yes, sir.
And now then, Mr. Day, have you ever had any previous experience with the United States Post Office?
Oh, yes, sir. I've been one of your customers for years.
And we're intensely grateful to you. But you see, I'm trying to find out what you know about the Postal Service.
Oh.
For instance, have you ever heard of a Mayo Frank?
Oh, yes, sir. All the Franks I ever knew were.
You know, Mr. Day, I always thought these examinations were pretty dull. You're changing all that.
Shall we go on?
You bet we shall. I'm going to a party tonight, and I just know I'll be the life of it. We come now to the examination proper, Mr. Day.
Yes, sir.
Now, our first group of questions are those requiring thought. And shall we throw them away?
Oh, no, sir.
All right, let's have fun. Question A is a geography question. Have you done any traveling around the country, Mr. Day?
Yes, sir. See, that was pretty easy, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, but that wasn't the question.
Oh.
The question is, in traveling between Chicago and Cleveland, what cities do you pass through?
New Orleans, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, and Omaha.
Mr. Day, just how have you done your traveling?
By troop train.
I beg your pardon. Your answer is accepted.
Thank you.
Our next question is one involving logic. Now listen carefully before you answer. A mail sack is to letters as a purse is to horseback riding, cheese, or money.
It is?
Not all three of them, Mr. Day, just one. You have your choice.
Oh, okay. Horseback riding.
I'm afraid I can't accept that.
But I thought you gave me my choice.
Today, a mail sack must be the same to letters that a purse is to money, mustn't it?
Not my purse.
Next question. Now, ordinarily, your mail route starts at 1st Avenue and ends at 3rd Avenue.
Uh-huh.
But today, your bag contains 4 pounds of mail for 1st Avenue, 8 pounds for 3rd Avenue, and 14 pounds for 2nd Avenue. So you sling the bag to your shoulder, and what do?
Fall down.
Today, I love you. Now, this last question is one you should take right in stride. Now, what's the difference between first-class mail and fourth-class mail?
Second and third?
I knew you wouldn't let me down. And that, Mr. Day, concludes the examination.
And I don't get the job?
Oh, on the contrary. Starting Monday, you'll be one of our regular mail carriers.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Oh, don't thank me. You're getting the job because of what you did for the department. But do me a favor, will you?
What?
Man lying on the street, give the post office a real break. Just let him lie there.
Hi, Willoughby, old man. How's tricks? Just dropped in to pick up my things.
Well, you're pretty flip, aren't you?
I just landed a job, Willoughby. A real job, of plenty of money. You're looking at a big man, pal.
You mean there's actually someone who'll pay you more than I did?
Are you kidding? They're starting me at $200 a month, and if I make good from then on, it's $25 a week.
Don't let them pay you by the hour, Dennis. You couldn't afford it.
You're just jealous because you know it'll be tough for you to replace me. I'm going back and get my things.
Okay.
Why, Mr. Nicholson, the postman.
Well, hello there, young fella.
Well, gosh, what are you doing here?
Well, I'm working here. Willoughby said he just lost the fella he had, so I took the job.
But your left leg is broken and both your arms are in a cast.
Yeah, I know, but he said I'd be more help to him this way than the other fella was when he...
Well, gee, Mr. Nicholson, I'm the other fella.
No.
Yes, and now I've got your old job with the post office.
Well, that's a funny one. Danged if we didn't swap jobs.
Yeah. Well, I sure hope you like it here. And, of course, at least you'll make the best of it.
Isn't it a good job?
Oh, the job is all right. It's just the work and the salary that's so horrible.
Well, you don't say. Well, I know you'll be happy in my old job. You'll like the people on the route. Old Doc Peterson, too.
Oh, is he on my route?
No, but you'll find him the best man in town for your pneumonia.
My pneumonia?
Oh, sure. When they say neither hail nor sleet nor gloom of night, they ain't kidding.
Gosh.
Oh, of course, you got to remember to keep on the lookout for Killer all the time, too.
Killer? Who's Killer?
Why, the Dolan's dog. That big bloodhound of theirs.
Oh, my gosh, and I've got some of the very stuffy hounds.
And none to spare either, I see. Hey, you better be careful, son.
Boy, I'll say I will. Well, I better be going, Mr. Nicholson. I'll leave you my knee pads, of course.
Your knee pads?
Yeah, you'll be using them all the time here. When you're not scrubbing the floor, you'll be begging Mr. Willoughby for a raise.
You mean he makes you scrub floors here?
And clean the walls and wash the windows and carry out the garbage. That's the trickiest operation of all.
Oh, say, I was wondering about that. I haven't been able to find a garbage pail.
There isn't any. That's what makes it so tricky.
Well, you know something, young fella? I've been doing some thinking.
Yeah, me too. You know, maybe we'd both be happy if we had our old jobs back.
You ain't kidding.
Well, I think it could be done if you do everything wrong around here. That'll convince Mr. Willoughby that he'd be better off hiring me back again.
Oh, I see. I make him think I'm a worse employee than you, huh?
That's it. It won't be easy, but I think it's possible.
Yeah. And meanwhile, you... Hey, wait a minute. How are you going to quit?
Huh?
Oh, that paper they made you sign, the county contract. That binds you for a period of 1 year.
Oh, my gosh. That must have been in the small print, which I didn't read.
No, it's in the large print.
Which I didn't read either.
Well, I'm afraid you're stuck, young fella. As soon as you take the fitness and character test, they'll swear you in.
The fitness and...
They send a man around to make sure you're a good law-abiding citizen.
Oh, they do they?
Mm-hmm.
Well, brother, your worries are over. We're home.
Huh?
Never mind. Just do your stuff here with Mr. Willoughby. I'll have that man check me at my boarding house, and that formality is going to be the most informal evening he ever spent.
Dennis, you're sure we're doing the right thing?
Oh, Mildred, you don't want me to get bitten to death, do you? Or die of pneumonia? Or maybe both at once?
Oh, well, no, of course not.
Then this is the only way. Now, look, the man from the post office will be here any minute.
Oh, don't worry. Daddy and Mother and I know just what to do.
Gosh, I can't get over it. Your mother is actually going to help me?
Yes. She says that getting you out of the post office is just as patriotic as buying war bonds.
Well, as long as she plays her part right, I just hope that... Oh, my gosh, there he is now. I'll take it. You duck into the parlor.
Okay.
Yes?
How do you do? I'm Mr. Letcher from the Post Office Department. I'm looking for a Mr. Dennis Day.
That's me.
Oh, good. This won't take a minute, Mr. Day. It's what we call our character test, just to make sure you're a good citizen.
Fine.
Now then, may I have your full name, please? First, middle, and last.
Sure. Dennis Heinrich von Himmler, Gering, Schickelgruber von Fackelab, Liebtraut, Day.
Day, are you a foreigner?
Why, if I ever gave you that idea.
Are you Mr. Day?
Forget it. I'm pure American for 6 generations back.
You're certain of that?
Ja, sure, natürlich.
I'm still suspicious, Mr. Day.
Oh, don't be silly. What do you think I am, a spy?
Oh, no, of course not, but...
Pardon me, Chief. X-14 on the short wave.
Ixnay, Gretchen. He's a BULL.
Oh, excuse me.
And just who is X-14, Mr. Day?
Oh, that's my aunt. It's kind of a pet name we call her.
What about these Andersons you live with? What sort of people are they?
Oh, just plain people.
What nationality are they?
Why, they're...
Do you do?
Vyacheslav Anderson. How often have I told you not to come in here without knocking?
Silly boy. I have here the pictures.
Yes, but we
Pictures, huh? Here, let me have a look at those.
Oh, no, you don't. It's none of your business what the floor plan of Fort Knox is.
Fort Knox? Give me those.
Hey.
What? Why, these are just photographs of Lana Turner.
You ought to see what happens when you put them under the hot water faucet.
So that's it. What kind of a gang is this, anyway?
Gang? Why, we're just a plain, normal American family like any other ordinary family.
Hello, Chiefy.
Hello, Matta. Mr. Lester, I'd like to present Mrs. Matta H. Anderson.
I'm glad to know you, big boy.
Had a nice day, Matta?
No, not too bad. I got the map of the uranium deposit, and here are the plans for the supersonic plane. The general came through.
That's my fine girl. Same method as usual?
Certainly. Rope 'em, soft-soap 'em, elope 'em, and dope 'em.
Good work. We can take this over to the Sublotnik legation and collect 3 million commitments.
Mr. Day, you want to work in our post office, do you?
Yeah, I thought a nice quiet spot among the registered mail might be nice.
Oh, you did, huh? Well, let me tell you, after what I've seen tonight, you'll never work in a post office as long as you live. Goodbye, sir.
Hey, we did it. We did it. He fell for it. What do you know?
By George, he did at that. Aren't we devils?
Boy, I'm glad I'm out of that mess. And it sure was nice of you folks to help me.
It was rather fun. What do you think, Herbie, you great big old hunk of oomph, you?
Silly girl.
Dennis Day will be back in just 1 minute to sing A Few More Kisses. But first...
Dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl, hair that gleams and glistens from a luster cream shampoo.
Yes, Luster Cream Shampoo leaves hair with new three-way loveliness. 1, fragrantly clean. 2, glistening with sheen. 3, soft, easy to manage. Luster Cream is not a soap, not a liquid, but an utterly new, rich lathering cream shampoo, a blend of secret ingredients plus lanolin. Try Luster Cream Shampoo. 4-ounce jar, only $1. Also in smaller sizes. Be a dream girl, a lovely Luster Cream girl.
Dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl, you owe your crowning glory to a luster cream shampoo.
With Charles Dant and the orchestra, here's Dennis to sing his latest RCA Victor recording, the hit ballad, A Few More Kisses.
A few more kisses and a few less heartache. That's all I'm asking of you. If something's happened, so I may be to blame, I love you more than ever and hope you feel the same. A few more sweet words and a few less teardrops. I'm sure they never would stop. If you just give me a few more kisses and a few less heartaches, sweetheart. If you just give me a few more kisses and a few less heartaches,
Good night, everybody.
Doctors prove the Palmolive plan brings 2 out of 3 women lovelier complexions in 14 days. For the Palmolive plan was tested on women with all types of skin. Dry, oily, even skin that was not clear. Yes, regardless of age, type of skin, or previous beauty care. Prove the 14-day Palmolive plan for looking complexions. So get Palmolive soap and start your 14-day Palmolive plan now.
The Voice of America presents The Halls of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Colman.
Good evening. This is Ronald Colman.
And Benita Colman.
Inviting you to join us again on the campus of Ivy College. And now, The Halls of Ivy.
That surround us here today, and we will not forget, though we be far, far away.
Welcome again to Ivy College, that is, in the town of Ivy, USA. Somebody once observed that a letter is an unannounced visitor, and a postman is thus the agent of impolite surprises. Well, it looks as though Dr. William Todder Hall is going to have a lot of epistolary company this morning when his wife Victoria brings an armful of letters into his study and says,
Darling, I know how busy you are this morning, so I've already sorted the mail. I took out all the ones addressed to Mr. and Mrs., and here's your batch.
The batch? Vicky, my sweet, I would hardly describe two as a batch. A batch is a quantity or number of anything coming at one time and treated as a set.
The set? Oh, I see, like a batch of tennis, so I just had my hair batched. Or a batching hen.
Well, for your information, which you may find useful on rainy afternoons, the origin of the word batch is the Anglo-Saxon bacon, to bake.
Oh, I always thought bacon was what you brought home from a horse race if you were lucky.
No, dear, that is B-A-C-O-N.
Oh.
Which brings up another interesting word association. The use of various edibles for the word money. Oh, there's cabbage, lettuce, dough, beans, sugar, berries, gravy.
Then you can have fish. Lend me 10 fish until payday.
Mm-hmm. Or just part of a fish. Lend me a fin. Or just a buck, which is a male deer, which is meat, which takes care of the whole subject, of which I was getting a little weary anyway.
It's hardly worth the time we spent on it.
But getting back, is there anything interesting in your batch of letters?
Nothing except there probably won't be a bachelor left in this college the day after graduation. These are all invitations to weddings.
Ah, yes. June plus graduation equals marriage. A mathematical equation which sometimes makes me feel that despite my concern with administrative and academic problems, I am, in the final analysis, simply a marriage broker.
Business is flourishing and everyone is going to live happily ever after.
Well, some people have scornfully referred to colleges as matrimonial bureaus.
But don't stop, darling. Louise'll get it.
Oh, to be sure, it is not the purpose of an educational institution to provide mates and helpmates for its inmates. But since marriage, as I can fervently testify, is the desideratum, the summum bonum, then I can...
Hello, Grogan.
Hey, are you folks busy?
No busier than usual at this time of year.
Yeah, this time of year. I'd like to rewrite the calendar, leaving out June entirely.
Why, what's the matter with the joyous month of June?
Who enjoys it? Maybe you and your bride, not me.
Well, is this a general mood of depression, Grogan, or something particular?
I'm up to my neck in particulars.
Well, come on. Don't just stand there. Give us a particular.
House mothers.
What?
Oh, all of a sudden they love me. They can't live without me. How can you hold a dance without Grogan? And all on the same night in 17 different places.
That's a tribute to your ability as an officer of the law and your graceful presence as a gentleman, Grogan.
It's ruining my digestion, that's what it is. 17 different kinds of cake in one night. Yeah, but I didn't come over here to talk about myself, Doc. I got another beef.
You have a beef?
I just used the word in what you might call a slang way.
Colloquial.
Idiomatic.
That's right, idiomatic. And if that idiot is no way for me to talk about a professor, even if he is, which he is. Look, Doc, You know I got nothing against education.
Oh, on the contrary, Grogan, you have viewed our educational activities with considerable tolerance.
And you've been very nice to the students, even in their more irrational moments, too, when they're being what we might call non-campus mentis.
Well, I'm glad to do it, whatever it is. Anyway, if I may be permitted to say so, and who's going to stop me, some of your teachers need an education in the facts of life.
Oh, we all do, Grogan. Teachers are human beings doing their best to teach other beings the human values. As H.G. Wells said in his Undying Fire, teaching is the greatest of all tasks. It is to ensure that man the divine, grows in the souls of men. An untaught man is but himself alone, as lonely in his ends and destiny as any beast. A man instructed is a man enlarged from that narrow prison of self into participation in an undying life. That began we know not when, that grows above and beyond the greatest of the stars. Well, that's what H.G. Wells said about teachers.
Well, I ain't no H.G. Wells, and I don't make no broad statements. I don't say all teachers is inhuman. I just got one of them in mind. Him and his corny jokes. Jokes, did I say? May heaven strike this laughter from me lips.
Well, would you care to be more specific in your...
He doesn't have to be more specific for me, William. I'm sure he means Professor Heaslip.
None other than the same.
Well, now, Professor Heaslip has certain mannerisms. We all do. But, Grogan, I must assure you that the head of our English department is thoroughly competent.
Competent in the head, maybe, but no compassion in the heart. He won't even give a girl a break.
For what girl?
Well, maybe you don't know, but it's Caroline Swanson. Lives off the campus in a boarding house. Now, folks, you know I ain't sentimental.
Oh, of course not. Heart of stone, Grogan.
Oh, it's completely unemotional, except with dogs, children, and the first 8 bars of Mother McCree.
Well, anyway, that poor kid. Husband is overseas in the Army. Her working part-time and studying and worrying. Just trying to keep her head above water. And this professor throws her an anvil.
Now, I'm sure that whatever Professor Heaslip has done has been only in the performance of his duty.
It's his duty to send her the examination papers.
Why, what's the matter with her, Grogan? Is she ill?
Not exactly, but the doctor told her she had to stay in bed, and Heaslip said it was too bad, but he couldn't make no exception. And she would have to come to class to take the exam or else.
Well, if she's under a doctor's care, that is certainly an extenuating circumstance. However, it is not unusual at this particular time of the year for students to develop strange symptoms. Blue book allergy.
Compound fracture of the thesis.
Inflammation of the curriculum.
Oh, she ain't really sick. She's going to have a baby.
Baby. Oh, and with her husband overseas, and she's here all alone.
Oh, well, a baby. Is it very... is this child... well, how imminent is the... is it...
It ain't imminent at all. It's going to be almost any minute.
And Professor Heaslip is being unsympathetic.
I imagine Professor Heaslip must have been so involved in trends of 18th century prose that he was unable to recognize an act of God when he heard about it. But thank you for bringing this to my attention, Grogan.
Well, that's why I come here. It ain't exactly in my department, but I figured that you'd know what to do about it. So now, it's your baby. So long, folks.
Grogan. Yes. Almost the first thing you'll notice about our Mr. Grogan is that he isn't sentimental.
No, he isn't. He cries at card tricks. Did you ever watch him after graduation when the students start making their round of farewells? He suddenly develops a terrible head cold.
Yeah, I know. The kind that makes your eyes water. But, darling, now we've got to get in touch with Caroline Swanson right away.
Yes, she must be Donald Swanson's wife. He was graduated last year, and I did hear that he'd gone into the Army. Appropriately enough, into the infantry.
I know who Oh, she is now. She's a very pretty girl. Works part-time in the campus knit shop. Very foresighted of her. I hope she gets a discount.
Vicky, I suppose it would be pointless to try to explain this kind of human problem to Professor Heaslip.
Oh, yes. He probably thinks a bassinet is some kind of medieval musical instrument.
And a crib, something his students are doing behind his back. Well, I shall take the matter into my own hands.
Oh, good for you. Go right over Heaslip's head.
No, I shall not go over his head, Vicky. I shall meet him head on. I shall call upon him, collect the questions, and supervise the conduct of the examination in person.
Oh, darling, I love you when you get that determined look on your face. And if you don't mind my quoting your own James Russell Lowell, all the beautiful sentiments in the world weigh less than a single lovely action. Of you to want us for Saturday night, Mrs. Merriweather, but Dr. Hall's been out all afternoon, so I'll have to call you later after I've spoken to him. You see, yes, goodbye. It's 5:30. Well, I'd better tell Louisa dinner will be a bit late. I wonder what's keeping the... Hello?
Hello, Vicky?
Oh, were you trying to get me, darling?
Yes,
I was just talking to Mrs. Merriweather. They've invited us for dinner on Saturday night.
Vicky.
But I told her I'd have to ask if we had anything on, you see. And then
I
she
haven't
said,
time now.
after that...
Vicky!
Well, what's the matter, darling?
Caroline Swanson.
Oh, of course, the examination. How's it going?
No, she's going. Vicky, she's going to have the baby.
Yes, I know that. Oh, what now?
Yes, dear, right now. I'm taking her to the General Hospital. If anyone calls, refer them to the maternity ward.
Well, they'll probably think the ambulance picked up the wrong member of the family, but I'll tell them.
No. Just explain that I am acting in loco parentis as a Latin term, meaning that with the father absent, someone else has to go crazy.
Voice of America is bringing you this presentation of The Halls of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Colman.
And now to return to the Halls of Ivy. It's later that evening, and we find Mrs. Hall just entering the Ivy General Hospital in search of Dr. Hall.
Dr. Tyndall, you're wanted in surgery. Dr. Tyndall, report to surgery.
Excuse me, nurse, but could you tell me where I might find Mrs. Donald Swanson?
Mrs. Swanson? Just a moment, please. Oh, yes, that's a maternity case, 3rd floor. But you can't see her now. I think Mr. Swanson's in the father's waiting room now.
Mr. Swanson, but that's impossible. He's in Korea. And that... Oh, yeah, that Mr. Swanson, yes. Thank you, nurse. Excuse me, nurse. Could you tell me where is the waiting room for maternity cases?
Right down the hall and to your left. Who are you waiting for?
Mrs. Donald Swanson.
Oh, yes. Well, it'll be some time yet. You're a relative?
Yes, well, that is...
Well, I think I saw Mr. Swanson in the waiting room a few moments ago.
Yes, of course. Well, thank you very much, nurse. Mr. Swanson, I presume.
Darling, I'm so glad you... Mr. Swanson!
They're in the confusion. Nobody's been told that the father is overseas, so the nurses think that you're Mr. Swanson.
Good heavens, they do?
I'm supposed to be a relative, too. They're very strict about visitors.
Well, I'm relieved that you're here, my sweet. This is quite a nervous business. After a life neatly regulated by the clock and classroom bells and undeviating schedules, this uncertainty is... Wouldn't you think that nature, being a mother herself, would arrange these things with a little more efficiency?
What do the nurses say? Have you asked them?
No, dear, I haven't. for some unaccountable reason, I'm afraid to ask them the simplest questions. I shouldn't say unaccountable either. It's just that all nurses treat the rest of us as congenital idiots.
Oh, yeah. I know. You say, what day is it, nurse? And they say, now, we're not going anywhere, dear.
I think it's their use of the editorial we that intimidates me. Shall we have our bath now? Well, look what we have for our dinner. Some lovely mashed turnips and skimmed milk. We must get a good sleep because we are having our basal metabolism in the morning. It's that we. Gives the impression of speaking for a powerful and sinister organization.
And those terrifying abbreviations. Have you ever heard them talking amongst themselves? One nurse will say to another, did 323 have his EKJ? Yes, but it was NSG, so they're doing a PDQ first thing in the AM.
Yes, that is, if his COD can bear up under the AFL. Then they pack their little starched caps, swish their little starched skirts, and take their little starched conversation down the hall.
Well, starch or no starch, they're mighty handy to have around.
Yes.
Let me go ask them how Caroline's doing.
Oh, I've already asked them that. And I've already had the answer, an exasperating ambiguity. She's doing fine, just fine. But, Vicky, hasn't she been doing fine for an awfully long time now? I mean, I've been here since 6 o'clock.
Now, Toddy, now relax, as if you hadn't got enough on your mind. All the preparations for graduation, and here you are, standing in for an absentee father when you should be home, writing a speech about education for the future.
Well, in a way, I'm doing what you might call field work on that subject. Why, I've already held up 5 expectant fathers, and just between ourselves, Vicky, it's not as easy as passing out diplomas. As a matter of fact, one of them passed out in my arms.
One of the diplomas?
No, I guess I'm not making much sense. But, Vicky, do you realize that we might sit here for months, perhaps years, behind an antiseptic iron curtain, forever speculating on what really goes on in the minds of these angels of mercy?
Oh, now, darling, there's a good reason for the way nurses act. The less they tell you, the less there is for you to worry about.
Yes, I suppose so. But you know, Vicky, this has given me an idea for the curriculum of our medical school. Using as text a book called The Stork, Symbol of Fatherhood. What a clumsy bird, the stork, with no sense of timing. Long legs to facilitate floor pacing. Red eyes denoting sleepless nights. A long neck for stretching around hospital corridors. And a big bill for services rendered. The book would also include... Grogan, come in. Glad to see you.
Well, come and join the reception line.
Well, you'd think somebody would have told me. How's it going?
Well, that, Grogan, is my own unrequited question. I've been reduced to mute expectancy and silent patience.
I know. Listen, Doc, I was one of 14 kids. The 5th, I think. No, the 4th. So I helped my pop wait up for 10 of them. And when we was waiting for me brother Aloysius, Pop and me slipped out to the ballpark, seen a doubleheader, and got back with half an hour to spare. That's why Aloysius was always my favorite brother. He was so considerate to get born in the daytime.
Dr. Schulman, you're wanted in maternity. Dr. Schulman, this is an emergency.
Well, I wonder if that's Caroline's, Dr. William.
Schulman? No, I don't think so. She called her Dr. Carter, I believe.
Oh, Doc Carter? I just went in the drugstore at the corner having a sandwich. Oh, so you got plenty of time to kill. Hey, how's about me scaring up a deck of cards? Maybe we could play a little auction pinochle.
I'm afraid I'm not familiar with the game, Grogan.
I learned it from the stagehands myself. Even now I can't play it unless I'm sitting in a draft with the orchestra tuning up.
Well, how's about some penny ante poker?
No. Poker's a little out of my line, too. I played so badly that even with aces wired and sitting under the gun with the case ace in the discard...
That's enough, Doc. That's enough. Teaching somebody to play poker that talks like that, I might just as well hand you my paycheck. No, sir, I'm no pigeon.
Very smart of you, Grogan. Dr. Hall plays poker like a riverboat gambler. You would be a pigeon to take him on.
Pigeon. You know, I've always been interested in how that stout-bodied, self-assured bird, well able to take care of itself, was chosen as the symbol for one who is victimized. Now, you take the pouter pigeon, a variety which I've see why the meadowlark, one of the most common of all birds, is also one of the most popular. And then, of course, Grogan, there is the celebrated nightingale. You remember Keats's ode, "Thy plaintive anthem fades past the near meadows, over the still stream up the hillside, and now 'tis buried deep in the next valley glades. Was it a vision or a waking dream? Fred, is that music?"
I beg your pardon.
Do I wake or sleep?
You'll really have to be more quiet. This is a hospital, you know.
Oh.
And there are patients sleeping.
Oh, of course. I'm sorry, nurse. I didn't realize.
Yes. Well, just so you keep your voices down, please.
Yes.
She has probably had a very unhappy love life. Don't pay no attention to that hatchet puss.
She was right, Grogan. Was I really shouting, Vicky?
Oh, no, Toddy. You were just a little carried away by Keats. But it was lovely.
Yeah, sure pretty, Doc. I'm a city kid myself. I don't know nothing about boys. Except I used to get them all the time. Only boy's nest I ever seen was in my sister's hats.
But how in the world did I get started on the subject of bird life?
Well, it was a triple play, darling. Pinochle to poker to pigeon.
Ah, yes. Well, under the circumstances, I think we'd better try patience. Yet can I not of such tame patience boast as to be hushed, and not at all to say...
Excuse me.
Oh, I'm sorry, nurse. Was I talking too loudly again?
Oh, no, not at all. As a matter of fact, you can shout if you want now. Congratulations. It's a boy, Mr. Swanson. An 8-pound boy.
Toddy, you here?
Yes, darling. I've been revising my address for graduation. It seems that my experience of last night has led me to invest more vitality and hope into the subject of facing the future. But, Vicky, you went to the hospital this morning. Were you able to see Caroline?
Yes, darling, she's fine. And the baby is such a little dolly. It's blue-eyed and bald as a knee. And, you know, she's naming him Donald Todhunter Swanson.
Todhunter? Mm-hmm. Oh, no, well, that wasn't necessary at all. No, I don't think she should have done that. After all, did she really? Very interesting.
Well, darling, she's terribly grateful to you, and she's such a sweet girl, you know.
Excuse me, darling. Dr. Hall speaking. Oh, hello, Professor Heaslip. How did it go? Oh, splendid. 7 pounds, 14 ounces, a boy. Oh, you mean the examination. Well, well, I have postponed it. The exact date will depend upon the availability of a babysitter. Incidentally, Professor, how's your schedule? Yes. Well, I'll be in touch with you, Professor. Goodbye.
What did he say?
He said, with characteristic originality, that circumstances alter cases, and considering the merits of this case, the quality of mercy is not strained. And he finished up with the eloquent observation that now is the time for all good men to come to the aid of the party.
Professor Heaslip said that. Oh, Toddy, he's slipping.
He slipped? Oh, Vicky. Oh. After all I've been through.
Well, be brave, darling. Anyway, Toddy, you were a dear to stand by when Caroline was having her baby. This is not the regular duty of a college president, you know.
I know, my darling, but time was of the essence. Besides, the idea of this young mother, alone here at Ivy with no one else at hand. Oh, of course, she was prepared to go it alone without asking for help. But after all, when one's sympathy is enlisted and not drafted, the enlistment must be served.
We'll be seeing you next week at this same time at the Halls of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Colgan. Grogan is played by James Gleason, and the nurses were Janet Warren and Jean Tatum. Tonight's script was written by Barbara and Milton Merlin and Don Quinn.
Oh, we love the halls of ivy that surround us here today.
This production of the Halls of Ivy was broadcast with an actual audience present in the studio.
The Ford of Canada dealers present The Fred Allen Show.
The Fred Allen Show with Fred's guest, Dr. Rockwell. Fulton Hoffman, Minerva Pius, Peter Donald, Parker Fenley, the DeMarco Sisters, and Al Goodman and his orchestra.
And this is Alan McPhee speaking for Ford of Canada's 1,100 dealers from coast to coast. Every one of these dealers is in business to help you keep your car in top flight condition. That's why when you drive in at your Ford of Canada dealers, you put your car in the hands of skilled servicemen trained in Ford of Canada service schools, using factory-approved methods and equipment, and genuine Ford parts for all Ford of Canada products. Join the thousands of car owners who take their cars back home for service to their Ford Monarch dealer or their Mercury Lincoln Meteor dealer.
Sunday night, and here comes Fred Allen speeding down Main Street in his new Ford to keep his weekly date. As Fred stops to lock his Ford, he hears a voice say,
Mr. Allen!
Hey, Portland, gee whiz, Hey, Portland, tell me, what are you doing with that piece of chalk?
Oh, I've been writing on all the buildings.
Writing what?
Next Sunday, the Fred Allen program will be on 1/2 hour earlier.
Did you write that Horace Height will be on at 7 o'clock in the big #1 spot? I'm still in the money. I'm in the show play. The little #3 spot, coming in winded but coming in hard.
Yes, I wrote that.
Well, that's swell.
After all these years, it's going to seem funny on Sunday night without Jack Benny.
Yes, it is. You know, it always seems funnier without Benny than it is with him.
Is Jack really as stingy as they say?
Benny is tighter than a little boy's lips around a lollipop, Portland. You know that Benny even has pockets sewed on his bare skin?
Why should Jack have pockets sewed on his skin?
Well, in case Benny ever finds anything on the floor of a Turkish bath, he'll have some place to put it. Say, I can't fool around tonight, Portland. I'm going to be on the Theater Guild program a little later.
Won't you be out of place with the Theater Guild?
Oh, of course. They anticipate that. But once a year, the Guild puts me on to give their subscribers a loyalty test.
What is the Theater Guild like?
Well, I can only tell you one thing about the Theater Guild, Portland. The janitor at the Guild wears a monocle.
Do you have to rush over there now?
No, I still have a few minutes. I think I'll get a paper, Portland.
May I tag along?
Sure, come on. Let's take a walk down Main Street. Come on.
All right. What does the paper say?
Well, I've got the wrong page. These are the help wanted ads. Here, look.
Wanted. Stage delicatessen. Knish washer.
Knish washer. That's some job, isn't it? I wonder what Duz would do if it was confronted with a knish. Say, I'd like to see Duz and a knish going at it. Here's an item, Portland. Look at this. Snow in New York City finally cleared. Last week's storm was the third worst snowstorm ever experienced by the city of New York.
I wonder what What was the worst snowstorm anyone has ever seen?
Who knows? Let's ask some people now as we're walking along Main Street. This man coming with the live sturgeon wiggling under his arm. Pardon me, brother.
Whom are you calling brother? I am Boris Shashlik, goodwill ambassador from the Soviet government.
You are the goodwill ambassador?
Russia is trying to cement friendly relations.
And you?
I am here buying the cement.
Well, tell me, Boris, confidentially, is that Energene I smell on your breath?
It is vodka. I am drinking a communist martini.
A communist martini?
It is straight vodka.
Straight vodka?
Instead of an olive, you are dropping in the vodka the Adam's apple of a reactionary.
Boris, I didn't know that you drank.
Well, this week is Stalin's 69th birthday. In Russia, everybody is drinking. It is compulsory.
Did you give Mr. Stalin a party?
He has got a party.
Well, did you give him a present?
I am sending Lend-Lease, a singing cablegram.
A singing cablegram?
Happy birthday to you, Joe. Our best wishes to you go. At 69, you still got glamour. So, Joe, keep swinging with your hammer. And tickle, 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 tickle.
About our question, what is the worst snowstorm you have ever seen?
In Russia, Stalin has stopped the snow.
He doesn't want snow?
No, he's making too many white Russians.
But Boris...
You bore me. Long live the doorman at the Kretschmer.
So long, Boris. Gosh, Main Street sure seems quiet tonight for... Yeah? What are you laughing at?
The sign in the restaurant window.
Sign in the restaurant?
Wanted. Rice teaser.
Rice teaser? What is a rice teaser?
When you want wild rice,
yeah,
the rice teaser teases the plain rice until it gets wild.
He does? Could have taken that a half a tone lower, I think. Say, look who's at the Mickey Mouse. Look who's looking at the Mickey Mouse watch in the jewelry store window there.
Titus Moody.
Hi, Mr. Moody. Howdy, bub. Tell me, Mr. Moody, what is the worst snowstorm you have ever seen?
Why, the big fall of 92 took the prize, I guess.
The big fall of 92, eh?
It snowed for 37 straight days.
Gosh.
The weatherman committed suicide.
He did? Were you on the farm?
Miss Moody and me were snowed in.
Oh, really?
Snow was up over the top of the house.
Say.
For 8 days, we didn't have nothing to eat.
Uh-huh.
We were slowly starving to death.
Starving to death, eh?
We just kept sitting there staring at each other.
For 8 days you sat staring at Mrs. Moody?
The 9th day, my mouth begun to water.
Titus, you weren't turning cannibal.
I was, but I was afraid to eat Miss Moody.
Why?
I knew she wouldn't agree with me.
What finally happened?
Why, I went out to get some milk.
With everything buried in the snow?
Yeah, I come to where I thought the cows was.
Yeah.
I set my pail down.
Uh-huh.
I reached in under the snow and I started milking.
Yeah.
I must have milked away for, 20 minutes.
Good for you.
I drug out my pail.
Yes.
The pail was full of water.
Water?
I wasn't milking no cow.
You mean for 20 minutes?
I was pulling the pump handle. So long, Bub.
So long. Come on, Portland. It's too cold to look in that frozen food store. It was so cold in there it closed up the O in the frozen side. Zero disappeared in the frozen.
Don't we know this little woman coming out of the town hall?
We certainly do. Mrs. Nussbaum.
So who is flighting a masher?
Oh, it's you.
Ah, Mrs. Nussbaum. I just saw you coming out of the town hall.
Yes, I'm buying tickets. Tomorrow night is a hootenanny.
Oh, really? What is a hootenanny?
It's a singing hillbillies.
Hillbillies?
Also is dancing squares.
Oh, square. Square dancing, huh?
Yes, it is going like this. Chase the possum, chase the lamb, chase that pretty girl, catch her, Sam.
Oh.
Swing your partner, let her go. All hands bend for the do-si schmo.
Oh, I've heard that. Very good. Tell me, what are your favorite hillbilly songs?
Bury me not on the prairie, I will be lonely.
Yes, I've heard that.
The Chisel Trail.
The old Chisel Trail, yeah.
Jimmy Crack Cohen.
Jimmy Crack Cohen. Well, hi, Saint. Tell me, Mrs. Nussbaum, what is the worst storm you ever remember?
The year I'm getting married.
Oh, really? There was a bad storm?
0 is below.
Oh.
Outside is a gizzard.
Outside is a gizzard.
People like poppy seeds are dropping in the snow.
Well, didn't this terrible storm frighten you?
The wind is howling.
Yes?
I am laughing.
You were out in this raging storm laughing?
Who is out in the raging storm?
You,
I am seeing it in the newsreels.
Oh,
thank you.
I see. Good night, Mrs. Nussbaum. Portland, you know, after meeting all these characters on Main Street, I often wonder whatever became of all the normal people.
Well, you haven't found out much about the worst snowstorms, have you?
Nothing up to now. It's been a waste of time. Well, I'll try one more passerby. This little man running along with his green muffler flying. Hi, John.
I can't stop tonight, me boy.
Hey, Jax Cassidy.
Stop. I'm in a terrible rush. I got to get home. I got company.
Well, the company can wait.
Oh, this is the telephone company. They're taking out me telephone.
Well, I'll make this fast, Ajax. What was the worst storm you ever remember?
Me boy, today is the coldest day in me recollection.
Really?
And I just come from the coldest place in the country.
The coldest place?
Kerrigan's Cozy Corner.
Well, how cold is it in Kerrigan's?
Well, now, I don't know the temperature, but when I left, everyone in the place was stiff. Goodbye, you boy.
Let's go, Portland.
Let's stop at the music store a minute.
Music store? Why?
The man is just going to demonstrate a new record.
Oh, the man in the window. What record? What record?
It's A Little Bird Told Me, played by Al Goodman and his orchestra, and sung by the 5 DeMarco sisters.
The record is just starting.
A little bird told me that you love me, and I believe that you do. This little bird told me I was falling for no one but you. There's no use denying, I might as well confess. Of all the boys I know, dear, I'm sure I love you best. A little bird told me we'd get sweet, and I believe that it's true. A little bird told me we'd be married, and I believe that it's true. This little bird told me when we marry, we'll have a pretty cottage not too far, all festive like a movie star. Ray James Pop will call a mate, lying there by the fireplace, goldfish pine and wishing well. Everything is gonna turn out swell. A little bird told me we'd be happy, and I'll sure, I tell you I love that bird.
Well, Portland, this is my corner. Do you want to come over to the Theater Guild with me?
No, I have to get Mama some Chinese chewing gum.
Really? What is Chinese chewing gum?
Bubble sub gum.
Bubble sub gum. Well, after that, Portland, you had better pick up the egg foo young and be on your way.
Good night.
Good night. Well, I better get going. Say, this man with the moose-hide briefcase coming out of the radio station looks familiar.
Hello, friend.
Dr. Rockwell, I saw him. Doc, I saw you coming out of the radio station. Are you back acting again?
No, Fred. I'm still a lawyer. I was called in on a big legal conference.
Oh, somebody else going over to the other network?
Oh, no, Fred. No, this was a big police case.
A police case?
Yeah, I was called in to fix a parking ticket for Mr. District Attorney. It was a cinch, Fred. I took it right to the juvenile jury.
Juvenile jury? Huh?
I pulled a few strings.
And what happened?
The kids' play suits fell off.
Well, you have to be careful pulling strings around. Tell me, Doc, how are you doing as a lawyer?
Great, Fred. You know, I've got my own office up in Maine. Here's my card.
Card? This is a square piece of fur.
Well, that's my winter card, Fred. The fur keeps your hands warm while you're reading.
Well, what is this, beaver skin?
Yep, you've got to be careful, Fred. I got a fresh batch of cards last week. One of my cards bit a man.
The card?
It was a Neger beaver.
Oh, a Neger beaver. Doc, if your law office is up in Maine, what are you doing down here in the city?
Well, I'm representing a client, the Acme Calendar Company.
Oh, I see.
I'm placing the order for Acme's new 1952 calendar.
1952? Doc, next year is 1949.
I know, Fred, but Maine is Republican. The next year we're interested in is 1952.
Tell me, Doc, what is Maine going to do for the next 4 years?
Well, we were going to change the name of Maine to Lower Quebec and join up with Canada. But after looking over the national scene, we figured things wouldn't be so bad.
What thing?
Well, take taxes. This year you've got community property.
Say, I've heard, what is that community property, Doc?
Well, it means your wife gets half your salary. That's an improvement right away.
An improvement?
Yeah, in the old days, a man's wife got all his salary.
Oh, I see what you mean, right.
And besides that, you've got capital gains.
I'd say, what is that capital gains, Doc?
Oh, it's simple, Fred. A man sets himself up as a corporation.
Yeah.
Then he goes on the stock market and sells shares in himself.
A man sells himself like stock.
Yeah, that's right. His head is one block of stock, for example. His arms and legs are another block. His chest and stomach are a third.
Oh, wait a minute, Doc. If you said your head, your arms, your legs, your stomach, and your chest, what do you have left for yourself?
Well, you still have your seat on the exchange.
Doc, do you really think humanity is making progress?
Well, in spots, Fred. You know, any day you're going to see socialized medicine.
Free medical treatment? You think it's going to work?
Well, I don't know, Fred. If the politicians take over medicine, it's going to be a shambles.
Well, how do you mean?
Well, suppose the Democrats are in power. Now, I'm a Republican.
You're a Republican.
Yeah, now, I get sick. I go to the government free clinic, a big marble building.
Yes.
In the main waiting room, there's two doors. One door marked men, the other door marked women. I go in the men's door.
Naturally.
Now, I come out in another big room. There's two more doors. One's marked old men, the other's marked young men. I go through the young men's door.
Naturally.
Now, there's still another big room with two more doors. One door says Republicans, the other door says Democrats.
Yes.
I go through the Republican door and find myself right out in the street.
With socialized medicine, there are going to be a lot of sick Republicans, Doc. But solving all the nation's problems, when do you have time, to take care of your law practice?
Well, my small cases I turn over to Mr. Anthony.
Oh, do you
The
really?
big ones I handle myself. I just finished a tough case yesterday.
A tough case? What was it?
Why, my client, Jake Eigen,
yes,
an old 96 years old man, 96 years old, was arrested for shoplifting in a hay and grain store.
Shoplifting?
Yeah, they caught Jake with his hand in an oat bin, but I got him off. I proved Jake wasn't shoplifting. He was just stealing his oats.
Doc, I'd like to see you trying one of those cases up in Maine.
Well, you got to know all the tricks, Fred. Now, like last week, I had a case. As I walked into the courtroom... Rise, Rubes. Here's Honor the Judge.
Order in the court. Order in the court here now. Let me see. First case, the town of Gopher Gulch versus Nemo Hatch. And the charge is murder. Charge is murder. Order in the court. Order in the court. Nemo Hatch to the bar.
Yeah, come in, Judge.
Nemo, charge here says you shot unto the death one Thurber Tuttle. Now, are you guilty or not guilty, Nemo?
Well, I ain't too bright, Judge. As a boy, I was called Puddin' on account of my head.
You were, well, stand down, Nemo.
Yeah.
Call your first witness, Lawyer Rockwell.
Clem Pratt to the bar.
Come in. Come in.
Now, Clem...
Don't talk too fast. There's a dent in my ear trumpet. I keep getting an echo.
All right. I'll talk slow.
No, I don't think it'll snow.
Now, hold on. Rockwell, don't get Clem going. Getting conversation into Clem's ear trumpet's like trying to get a pillow into a milk bottle.
All right, I want you.
Watch it.
I don't hear nothing. Anybody talking?
Well, I'd better test your trumpet, Clem. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Woof, woof.
Roger.
Clem, trouble is, keep your trumpet up. Keep your trumpet up while we're going through the case. Keep up with your trumpet.
I'm on the beam.
All right, he's on the beam. Now, let's go, Rockwell.
All right. Now, Clem, You're the proprietor of the Prairie Plaza Hotel.
I be.
Now, what happened the morning of the murder?
Why, Thurber Tuttle was going to marry Googie Goslin in the lobby.
Of the hotel?
Of the hotel, yes. I was downstairs painting his and hers on a roller towel when Nemo Hatch, he come busting in.
And Nemo's the town dentist.
Nemo was carrying a shotgun. He asked me for Thurber's room number, and then he went upstairs.
Your suspicions weren't aroused when you saw Nemo carrying a shotgun?
I thought maybe it was part of the ceremony.
Yeah, what? Now, what happened then?
5 minutes later, I heard a shot.
A shot, eh?
I run upstairs to Thurber's room.
And what did you find?
Nemo was standing there with his shotgun smoking. And Thurber was sprawled on the floor, dead.
I ain't too bright, but I can explain.
Now, order in the court. Hush your fuss, Nemo. You'll spoil the whole trial. Give everything away. Quiet up. Now, Clem.
Is it giveaway program?
No, Clem, no. This is the law. You're in with the law, Clem. Something legal now. Now, Clem, when you found Thurber was dead, what'd you do?
I hung out my vacancy sign and called the sheriff.
Nice work, Clem. Stand down. Stand down.
Stand down, Clem.
Get down. Get down. Help him down.
Here, Trumpet, I could hear more through a shoehorn. I don't
Tell him to get down. Get down, Clem. Get down. Help him hand him his trumpet. They can't hear nothing. Next witness, Rockwell.
Sheriff, throw it to the bar.
Make way for the law. Stand back, Rubes. I'm spinning my billy.
Sheriff, where were you when Clem called?
I was dragging the St. Bernard dog into the station house.
Arresting a dog?
The St. Bernard was carrying a jug of liquor and it didn't have no license.
Sheriff, what did you do when you got the call?
Gave the St. Bernard a bone so he wouldn't go away. Then I ran down to the Prairie Plaza Hotel.
And what did you find?
Herbert been killed while shaving. He was using an electric razor.
Electric razor, say?
First I thought the thing was a snake. I beat it over the head with my billy till it stopped buzzing.
Just for the record, Sheriff, where was Thurber shot?
I looked all over. I couldn't find no bullet hole.
No bullet hole, you say?
And when you couldn't find any bullet hole, Sheriff, what did you do?
I arrested Nemo Hatch, and then I called Boogie Goslin and told her the wedding was off.
Stand down, Sheriff.
Give me room, Rubes. I'm spinning my billy.
Stop showing off. Stop.
Anything happened yet?
No, nothing happened yet, Clem. Tell Clem nothing's happened yet. Order in the court. Proceed, Rockwell. Next witness.
Googie Goslin to the bar.
I'm a widow, for I'm a bride, Judge. It's nerve-wracking. I'm just flutter-ducking around.
We can see that.
Googie, when did you first meet the deceased, Thurber Tuttle?
Well, I was taking mail order singing lessons. Thurber was the mailman.
And you were in love with Thurber?
Thurber had a dimple you could hide a rutabaga in. He had two big buck teeth. Thurber always looked like he was just spitting out his chiclets.
Tell me, Googie, was Thurber in love with you?
Well, we used to sing duets together.
Did he propose?
One twilight we was harmonizing You Never Miss Your Mother Till She's Gone. When Thurber says to me, Googie, I'm only a mailman, but how about you and me playing post office till death do us part?
And you accepted.
Counselor, I was so happy I cried in Thurber's mailbag and opened 3 letters.
You was all set to marry Thurber, Googie, eh?
I'd be Mrs. Thurber Tuttle today if 'twasn't for that jealous dentist, Nemo Hatch.
Yeah?
Look at me, Judge, in my wedding gown. I'm all dressed up and no place to go.
Well, you can use your wedding corsage for the funeral, Googie. Stand down.
Thank you, Judge.
Next
I want justice.
You'll get it in sections. Next witness, Lawyer Rockwell.
Nemo Hatch to the bar.
Hey, Judge, I'm as innocent as a man with a stiff leg at a craft dame.
Now, Nemo, Googie said you were jealous. Is that true?
Well, I ain't charged her for no dental work in 10 years. She's only got 2 teeth of her own. Every other tooth in her head belongs to me. She's even wearing my Elks tooth.
Well, if you were in love with Googie, why didn't you propose to her?
Well, I was a dentist, but I couldn't get up my nerve. And then last week, Thurber Tuttle come in.
Thurber?
He says, Nemo, you got to straighten my buck teeth. Every time I kiss Googie, I gnaw a hole in her veil.
What did you do?
Well, I gave myself a shot of Novocaine to numb my feelings, and then I put a brace on Thurber's teeth.
Now, Nemo, Clem Pratt testified you was at the Prairie Plaza Hotel with a shotgun on the morning of the murder.
Well, I was on my way bobcat hunting, Judge, when I heard about the wedding.
Oh, and you went to the hotel?
I went in to collect what Thurber owed me for he and Googie got hitched.
Yeah?
I went up to his room, asked for my money. Thurber started bunting me.
Bunting you, eh?
As he was pushing me through the door, my gun went off.
And the bullet hit Thurber, did it?
No, the sheriff said there weren't no bullet hole in Thurber, Judge. I couldn't have killed him.
Well, somebody killed him. Somebody else was in Thurber's room for you, Nemo.
Somebody was, Judge.
You hinting, Nemo?
I found this fur business card on Thurber's table.
A fur business card? Whose card is it?
Lawyer Rockwell.
Lawyer Rockwell. Order in the court. Lawyer Rockwell. Lawyer Rockwell, you was in the murdered man's room before he was murdered?
I was there on business, Judge. I was making arrangement for Thurber's wedding.
Wedding?
Yes, I'm justice of the peace on the side.
Oh.
I was seeing if Thurber wanted my 750 wedding or my 1050 wedding.
What's the difference?
Well, with my 750 wedding, after I marry the couple, I sing, "Oh, Promise Me."
And with your 1050?
I don't sing "Oh, Promise."
Which wedding did Thurber settle on?
Why, he took my big economy-size wedding at $22.50.
Yeah, what happens for $22.50?
The married couple is covered by the Florsheim clause.
The Florsheim clause?
Yes, if the bride and groom are hit by old shoes, they can collect.
Oh. Well, after you signed Thurber for the big economy-size wedding, Rockwell...
I took my $22.50, gave Thurber a receipt, and left.
Oh, say, looks to me like this whole trial's been a waste of time. There's no bullet hole in the body. Nobody can't prove nothing. Looks like Nemo Hatch is innocent.
Hold on, Judge. Nemo Hatch is guilty.
Guilty of what?
Murder.
Murder? Say, now, order, quiet. Now, Rockwell, if Nemo Hatch shot Thurber Tuttle, where's the bullet hole?
There isn't any bullet hole, Judge.
Then how did Nemo kill Thurber, Smarty?
Here, right here, Judge. I call your attention to Exhibit A, this gift card.
Yeah?
Yes, sir, this gift card was in the box the electric razor came in.
Yeah?
On the card it says, "Thurber, you won, Googie, but it was a close shave." And that card is signed Nemo.
Nemo gave Thurber the electric razor for wedding present, eh?
Yes, sir, and here's Exhibit B, this piece of copper wire.
Yeah?
This is the brace that Nemo, the dentist, put on Thurber's buck teeth. Not steel, not platinum, but copper wire.
Yeah?
Nemo knew that with buck teeth, Thurber had a short upper lip.
Yeah?
And Nemo knew that when Thurber shaved his upper lip,
yeah,
the electric razor would touch that copper wire on Thurber's brace.
And when the electric razor touched the copper brace?
Thurber electrocuted himself.
Well, what do you know?
Yes, sir. The plot worked, and Nemo Hatch is guilty of murder. Well, Judge?
Rockwell, seems to me like the whole mess is Thurber's fault.
Thurber's fault?
Thurber was sparking another fellow's girl. He was bound to get it in the end.
But what about Nemo?
He's going to get it in the other end. Court's adjourned.
Now, when kiddies are enjoying Christmas holidays, watch out. Drive safely. Safe driving calls for keeping your car in top operating condition. And your Ford of Canada dealer is staffed and equipped to give your car the kind of attention and service that keeps it that way. So always take your car back home for service to your Ford Monarch dealer or your Mercury Lincoln Meteor dealer. And now, before we say goodnight, be sure to listen next week at the new time, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, when we again bring you the Fred Allen Show and Fred's special guest, Burt Lancaster. This is Alan McPhee speaking for your Ford of Canada dealers and on their behalf wishing you a Happy New Year. This is the Trans-Canada Network of the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation.